Manhattan. There were only 2 defense witnesses, including former Michael Cohen advisor Robert Costello, who says Cohen told him in 2018 the then president had nothing to do with hush money payments to Stormy Daniels. Closing arguments are expected Tuesday.
Any other judge would have thrown this case down.
The former president calls the judge corrupt and the case a scam. Prosecutors say he falsified business records when reimbursing Cohen for payments to silence Daniels ahead of the 2016 election. The U.S. could move to sanction the International Criminal Court.
A group of Republican lawmakers are calling on the U.S. to impose sanctions on the ICC after arrest warrants were sought for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. President Biden says the arrest warrants are outrageous and condemns any attempt to equate Israel with Hamas.
We fundamentally reject it. So we're having discussions, to your questions, with the Hill on the next steps. So I'm not going to get ahead of those discussions.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One. The ICC is also seeking arrest warrants for top Hamas leaders.
Fox's Jared Halpern. The U.S. Energy Department just announcing an effort to help lower summer gas prices by releasing 1 million barrels of gasoline from a Northeast reserve set up after Superstorm Sandy. The release to happen 100,000 barrels at a time between Memorial Day and July 4th. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. Call 800-822-1716. 800-822-1716.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Partly to mostly sunny skies for our Tuesday afternoon. Windy and kind of hot. 92 for the high. 93 is the record. Tonight, some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Windy and 69. Wednesday, partly sunny. Cooler, but still scattered showers and thunderstorms around 82 on Wednesday. 79 on Thursday. Still a couple of scattered showers and thunderstorms from time to time. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Are you ready to smell better naked? I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN creator of Lumi, the whole body deodorant that's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, and beyond. It's pH optimized to safely and effectively control odor anywhere you have it, but wish you didn't. Plus, it's proven to work better than a shower with soap alone. Whether you shower twice a day or 3 times a week, Lumi works better. And who doesn't want zero body odor? With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I'm so sure you're going to love it, or you can return it for free.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 500 and get 15% off your first purchase with code 500, like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LUMEdeodorant.com, code 500 for 15% off your first purchase. Love it or return it for free. That's LUMEdeodorant.com, code 500 to save 15% today.
If you have a problem with the IRS, believe me, it's not going away on its own. The IRS never gives up. They have endless resources, so they control the game. Well, your tax problems can end. I'm attorney Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm, a local tax resolution firm with an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. I've handled thousands of IRS cases over the last 15 years. So when you hire me, you won't be speaking long distance or sending money to some TV pitchman that's riddled with consumer complaints. Your first visit is completely free and confidential, and I'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it will cost. So call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120. Or go to Lance, DRURYlaw.com. If you have IRS issues, you need a local attorney, you need me, Lance Drury.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. At Neovitin, we are all about supporting your nutrition, and that's why we are excited about our new Neovitin Omega-3 supplement. Neovitin Omega-3 is formulated with 1,200 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids to help support healthy hearts. Our high-quality omega-3 fish oils are sourced from wild-caught fish and tested for heavy metals. With our convenient monthly subscription, you can get Neovitin Omega-3 delivered right to your door every month with no long-term obligations. Support your daily nutrition and sign up for a Neovitin Omega-3 subscription at neovitin.com today.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
If he's talking about the decision to dismiss charges, which is what his team asked Judge Merchan to do yesterday, there's not a chance in the world that's going to happen. Anybody who went to bed last night not knowing whether or not the judge was going to throw the case out just missed a good night's sleep. That was never going to happen. Now, the jury, remarkably attentive, even during some really slow parts of the direct and cross-examination. The way I analyze it is this. You have Michael Cohen, who has more baggage than an airline. I mean, think about this for a second, Sandra. An admitted liar who is out for revenge, and maybe the most damning part of his testimony is he wants to one day be in Congress. I mean, we learned that. And we also learned that, oh, by the way, he stole $50,000 because he kind of gave himself a bonus. On the other hand, you have Robert Costello. The substance of what he said yesterday was remarkably important. But it was clouded yesterday and again today by the cross-examination. And this is the way jury mind work. If you're spending time on something, that signals to me importance. Very little time was spent on Michael Cohen saying, I swear to God, Donald Trump did nothing wrong. A lot of time was spent on Robert Costello's relationship with Rudy Giuliani, with the clear insinuation being he was actually working for Donald Trump. So if you have a biased witness for the government and a biased witness for the defense, it's a draw, which means the defendant wins because the burden of persuasion is on the government.
So Trey Gowdy reacting, he was in the courtroom today, and I love me some Trey Gowdy. I've seen him speak before on the pro-life issue, and he talked a lot about prosecutions in his speech that he gave at this event that I was attending regarding being pro-life and so on and so forth. But he talks about being a prosecutor. I listened to his book, his most recent book, and it never fails to stop me in my tracks when he says defendant. Why does he say defendant? Why? He's a South Carolinian, so maybe it's a locally regional thing, but he says defendant.
He's got like one of those proper Southern accents too. And I think it has everything to do with that.
It may be. But man, because I listened to the audiobook and I went through it and I was like, just say defendant, please. Just once. What you're listening to him explain there is, especially at the beginning, the idea that he sees no possible way that this trial is going to end with what would be called directed verdict. And I want to thank Brad Young for explaining that to me specifically before the show started, just so I could make sure I had the vernacular correctly to articulate there for you. Our YouTube poll question for today, which I think I know where this is going to go. I think I know when I'm going to vote. We'll talk about it a little bit more later in the show, and we're going to have Will Chamberlain on next. So 15 minutes from right now, who's a senior counsel at the Article 3 Project, to give us his thoughts on this question. How will the Bragg Trump trial end? Your options are guilty. You find Donald Trump guilty of what? Everything. Just D, all of C, E, F, G, all of the above.
Guilty of the Trump.
Guilty of the Trump, of the orange disease. Guilty, acquittal, which is the not guilty option here. A hung jury or a directed verdict. The directed verdict is what Trey Gowdy said. If you went to bed last night thinking maybe that this was going to end in a directed verdict, then you lost a good night of sleep. If you were up thinking about that. So we need to know what you think, and you can go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel and vote there. As I said, Will Chamberlain will join us to talk about that. And at 1:25 today, Jim Carafano is not with us this afternoon. We'll catch up with him later. But Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg is going to be with us, and I want to ask him, Iranian president death, what does that mean? Who's to blame for it? Malfunction? Somebody specifically? A country specifically? Where does America's interests, I'll read for you later the statement that the president put out. And it was pretty, I'll just put it this way. It's what you would expect of Joe Biden. So what does it mean? The helicopter crash where the Iranian president has died, that is consequential on the global stage, but in ways that we need experts like Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg to come on here and talk. It's great to talk to him. He was a former national security advisor to the Trump administration. And then I think at 1:45, we are going to do a new segment called Trash Talk Tuesday, and Brad and Ryan are going to read trolling hate comments that come at us, me specifically, because usually my face is the one that's on the video on our YouTube channel. Every once in a while, YouTube goes, we think that the world should see this. And then they serve our video out to the masses, and people have some interesting things to say about it. You selected some of them.
Yes, some of them.
You go in there and argue with them from time to time.
Yeah, if I think it'll drive engagement, for sure.
It's not just for the good of the cause.
Well, sometimes it is too. Mm-hmm. I like to fight. What can I say?
We put up these videos daily. How many do you put up a day? 2, 3?
2 a day, generally.
Shorts.
Shorts, yeah.
Tulsi Gabbard was on the show yesterday.
Yes.
You can watch the whole video on the YouTube channel there. We put up some Tulsi Gabbard shorts as well, and you never know what's going to hit on YouTube and what's not. But we put it up there, and it's not just about comments and views. It's a good archive of what we've done on the show. But I said in a video, I said it on the air, and we made a video of it, that Donald Trump in the debates needs to be who we hear that he is, with people who he works with, people who he meets one-on-one. He needs to be kind, and that he's a kind person. He's a generous person. Brad, they don't like that.
That's an understatement. They hate that. The thing is they've created in their mind this supervillain, this literally Hitler guy.
I don't know that they created it in their mind.
Or
I think it was manufactured for them.
Maybe. But they've allowed that to be installed, Trump 2.0 or Trump 3.0.
Like a
or
virus.
Yeah. And it's in their brain. And if you ever say anything that goes contrary to that, it breaks them and they fly off the handle into a rage.
Yeah. I mean, we're not like a massive YouTube channel. We've got about 7,000, I think, subscribers. We're getting close to 7,000 on the channel. So, I mean, we're not like consequential in the YouTube world.
No.
But there are people who feel like we need to know how wrong we are and how terrible we are, and so they tell us. And then we're going to read some of their funny comments on the show at 1:45. President Trump, the defense and the prosecution have rested. The interesting thing about what's next in this Cohen, what I think is very interesting about this trial, the arc of this trial, like every time I go to put something on social media somewhere and hashtag it, it used to be the Stormy Daniels trial. It's not anymore. It's the Cohen trial. Stormy Daniels is Stormy Daniels is the subject of the matter, so to speak. But Michael Cohen has stolen the show as far as being, other than Donald Trump, the name associated with this trial.
I didn't think that you could have a worse witness than Stormy Daniels, because what Trump's being charged with, Stormy Daniels' experience is not material to the case. It's not.
Yeah.
None of it has to do with anything that was done with the way that this stuff was recorded, with the way the hush money was recorded. Outside of, did you accept hush money from Donald Trump? Yes. Her testimony is over. She has nothing to add to it.
The hush money isn't even illegal. It has nothing to do with the crime.
It's not. And
it's not even important
to
proving that there was a crime, which my very non-educated legal opinion is, no, you haven't proven it.
And so then they go to Cohen, who Cohen was the quote-unquote fixer, and it's like, all right, this guy is their star witness. And he admits to stealing, I've heard numbers between $30,000 to $60,000, and I think it has to do with the amount of taxes.
Let's listen to CNN report on that.
It came out in a glancing, unclear way on direct. It came out like a bomb earlier today. I don't know how much they can do to fix that. It just, at a certain point, it is the fact Michael Cohen did steal this money. And what makes that really so important, Wolf, is it's not as if Michael Cohen was just stealing on the side. That'd be bad enough. The problem is he was stealing from the exact reimbursement at issue in this case. So the prosecution's core argument is Donald Trump knew what that $420,000 was all about. He was totally read in on it. Turns out Michael Cohen was stealing from him within that $420,000.
Whoops. I've heard people say that the felony that Cohen committed there is worse than the one they're actually charging Trump with.
And the answer is not anymore because the statute of limitations has run out. But it's a very fair question to ask. Gee, folks, of the jury, they gave him a free pass. He committed larceny. It's a higher degree of a felony than what Donald Trump is charged with. Yet they gave Michael Cohen a free pass, even though he's now admitted that he stole what amounts to $60,000. It goes to his credibility. It goes to his relationship with the DA.
Whoops.
No, it's fair to point out that's CNN, not Fox News.
If I'm a conservative talk radio show host and I don't now say, so he's a liar and a thief, then I don't know if I'm really doing my job. They all say, what is the other? Is it liar and a thief? Is there another thing that has, is there another like insult in there that I haven't thought of yet? Liars, thieves, and crooks? Is that what I'm thinking of? I think that applies.
Yeah. Swindlers.
Michael Cohen is such trash, and his whole thing here, and in the course of this trial, all he's done is really prove that he'll do anything to keep the name notoriety up. Like he said when he was asked about running for office, he said nobody's got more name recognition than I do, or something to the effect. That has to translate to votes, mister. I don't know that it will. Jonathan Turley reacted to Jonathan Turley was acting to the defense's decision to put Costello on the stand. Now, Costello did an interview. It was at the end of last week with Bill Hemmer and I think Dana Perino on the air. And he was on there. I was listening to that before the show started. I think it was Thursday or Friday. I can't remember which day. It was Thursday. And they're asking him these questions, and Costello was a lawyer of Cohen's at one point, and this is the guy who Cohen had repeatedly said, I have nothing on Trump. There's nothing. I don't have anything on him, over and over and over again. And what was discussed on Fox News seemed very damning to the prosecution's case, to Michael Cohen specifically. And there were questions at the time like, why would the defense not call Costello? Now, I've also heard legal arguments today, and Will Chamberlain's going to be with us to break this down in about less than 10 minutes, so don't go anywhere. I've also heard people say that if the prosecution has clearly not made their case that the alleged crime was committed, then what the defense can immediately rest after the prosecution rests, because anything that the defense engages in justifies or legitimizes the idea that there's something that needs to be defended against. So this is all, this is all gameplay. This is all legalese. You got to make the best decision. And just like sports, you put together the best game plan, and then sometimes it goes wonderfully well and sometimes it goes terribly. The defense decided to put Costello on
What's interesting, Martha, is that I'm one of those risk-averse defense attorneys. If I think I'm going to win a case, I'm going to stop. And I think they have won this case. The problem is that this is not an ordinary case. So my view is that even if there's a conviction, it would have to be overturned at this point. But this is a man running for president. Quite frankly, Costello is a kill shot witness. You only call him if you want a kill shot at trial, that you feel that you need to make sure this doesn't result in a conviction. even though I think it's going very well for the defense. And it went very well today for the defense.
So Jonathan Turley complimenting the defense's day when they put Costello on the stand. And I think it's also important to highlight what Turley says there, which is anything that is conventional wisdom when it comes to defending a case or probably prosecuting a case. None of the conventional wisdom comes into play when it's a Donald Trump, Alvin Bragg, Manhatten trial that this is. It's not funny, but it is very consistent how the legal analysts on Fox News to varying degrees are pulling their hair out with how absurd the behavior of the judge, of the actual charges, of the prosecution, how absurd the steadiness of this trial has been. And the direction who can object and who can not object and who can speak and who cannot speak, so on and so forth. Very consistent. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Will Chamberlain's going to be with us to talk about this very case. He's a senior counsel at the Article 3 Project. First question I'm going to ask him is the same question that I'm asking you. So go on to the Annie Frye YouTube channel and let us know what you think. How will the Bragg Trump trial end? Guilty, acquittal, hung jury, or directed verdict? Your thoughts, your vote on the Annie Frye YouTube channel, and Will Chamberlain's thoughts on the Annie Frye Show when we come back.
This is the Annie Frye Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryeShow.
Let's talk about Michael's Flooring Outlet, the locally owned and operated business, 3 locations across the St. Louis area that make sure that your shopping experience for flooring is a positive one. You can check out the Google reviews. They have the reviews featured, all of them, on their website right now at igotfloored.com so that you can look for people who are just like your neighbors here in St. Louis who have gone to Michael's Flooring Outlet to invest in some new flooring for their home, for their business, maybe refinishing that basement or finishing it for the first time. Maybe it's ripping out the old dingy carpet and putting something in that's fresh and new, maybe a whole new look, a hardwood look. They've got the products for you that you've been looking for, and they pair quality products with great value. And they care about all of this under the umbrella of the best customer service because they want you to be somebody who's going to tell the next person when they say, gosh, these floors are beautiful. Where'd you get these? Got them at Michael's Flooring Outlet. And you should go too. If you want to learn more about the products that they have, if you want to learn more about their locations, the one closest to you, or you can even request a direct estimate, you can do so online right now by visiting Michael's Flooring Outlet at igotfloored.com.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frye Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Keep the air you're paying to heat where it should be with 15% off attic insulation. For a free estimate on attic insulation, visit aircomfortservice.com. Convention is in Collinsville this Friday and Saturday, and if you want to plug in and help elect conservatives in Illinois, this is the place to be. The Annie Frye Show is broadcasting live from noon to 3 p.m. Listen in right here on 97.1 or stop by in person.
And it should really be, and I think it would be great for Judge Marchand to rule from the bench and to terminate this witch hunt. And it needs it. It really needs decisiveness. Every single scholar says there's been no crime, he's done nothing wrong.
President Trump saying before court today that Judge Merchan should rule from the bench, saying there's no case here. And I want to bring our next guest onto the show to answer our poll question for today and also react to what President Trump was saying there. How will the Bragg Trump trial end? With a guilty verdict, an acquittal, hung jury, or a directed verdict, the way Donald Trump is speaking about? Let's talk to our friend Will Chamberlain, who joins us once again. He's a senior counsel at the Article 3 Project. I encourage you to go to article3project.org and follow Will on X at Will Chamberlain. Will, welcome back. It's good to have you here.
Good to be with you, Ann.
Thank you. I want to know what your thoughts are, how this trial is going to end. Is he going to be found guilty, acquittal, hung jury, or a directed verdict like President Trump was kind of saying demanded there?
I don't know. I think there's a really good shot at an acquittal because, I mean, I think it would take 12 people highly motivated to get Trump, regardless of what the law says, to convict him. Because the basic problem that the jury has is that they are absolutely reliant on the testimony of Michael Cohen to prove multiple elements of this crime. Intent, both in terms of intent to commit the crime itself and intent to do so in furtherance of election issues. And it's only Michael Cohen's testimony. And Michael Cohen was absolutely shredded on cross-examination as a guy who basically has every form of bias you could possibly have and as little credibility as you could have. He's lied under oath repeatedly in the past. He has a financial motive for seeing Trump imprisoned. He has a personal revenge motive for seeing Trump imprisoned. And he even lied on the stand about something as simple as a phone call that he had with Trump's bodyguard. So I think that a reasonable juror would look at this and say, I can't convict this man based on this guy's word, so I have to acquit him.
We're speaking with Will Chamberlain with the Article 3 Project. I'm a little confused about the timeline here because my understanding is that closing arguments are going to happen, maybe next Tuesday, and then they could take Wednesday off. Is it just because the Memorial Day holiday is this weekend? Is this standard operating procedure to push out the rest of this trial this long? It kind of feels like they're milking it, but I don't really know what is standard.
I think it's not unheard of. Basically, the court has a reason for wanting the jury to hear the summations consecutively, and has some reason to think that the summations are going to take a while.
What does that mean, summations? Can you kind of break that down?
Closing
a little
arguments.
bit? Closing arguments. Okay.
So that if the closing arguments are going to take a while, they don't want there to be a 3-day weekend between you hearing the prosecutor's story and the defense story, or forcing the defense to stop midway through and wait 3 days before continuing. So it's not unheard of for a judge to do something like this.
So we'll get a few more days of news headlines and news cycle out of this story. The closing arguments will happen. You said that could take a few days. Is it possible by the end of next week that we do have a conclusion to this trial, or will it push past even the end of next week?
Could be by the end of next week. Could be early the following week. I don't expect deliberations to take forever. I mean, I suspect that, although we could have a hung jury, so that could lead to deliberations taking a while because there might be just flat out disagreement among the jurors. But I don't expect this to take all that long. And yeah, we could have a verdict.
So my understanding is if you had one juror out of the 12 that was like, absolutely not, I'm not voting guilty, and another one that said he's 100% guilty, and that is the hung jury that we're talking about here, how long does the judge, or how long do they have to sit there to not agree before the hung jury is determined?
It's really up to the judge. It's a thing in the judge's discretion. The judge can make a decision about if they think that further deliberation will bring them together, then they can push them to stay in deliberations. I don't know that there's a maximum time limit. I think it really is ultimately in the judge's discretion, but
okay.
Judge is human like everybody else and is going to recognize when something's intractable or something might be resolved.
Okay. Will Chamberlain speaking with us right now. I want to ask you about the defense. They've decided to bring Costello on as a witness, was a lawyer to Michael Cohen. I've heard some legal thought saying that if the prosecution doesn't make the case for you to need to make a defense, then you shouldn't bring extra witnesses on that could potentially become problematic if it's an unforced error. And then we listened to Jonathan Turley, who recently said this is not your ordinary case. No standard operating procedure necessarily applies here because of all the absurdity that has gotten us this far. What did you think about the defense's decision to put Costello on the stand and how it turned out for them?
I think it went fine. They were trying to further undermine Cohen. They got constrained a lot by the judge, is my understanding, in terms of the kind of questions they were allowed to ask. and the judge was constantly sustaining objections. So I don't think that really helps. I mean, it doesn't help when the prosecution's having to get up and constantly object to a witness who is indicting their star witness. I think in the eyes of the jury, they'll be like, what are they hiding here? Why is the prosecution not willing to let this questioning happen?
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective.
So, again, it's a situation where, assuming that there are some jurors acting in good faith and trying to get to the truth of the matter, I don't think Costello could have possibly hurt them. And I don't think they're going to forget about it. I mean, Cohen was on the stand for close to a week, something like that, ultimately, and they're not going to forget Cohen's testimony. They're going to have a view of Cohen, and Costello certainly isn't going to change that view one way or the other. He might swing somebody towards not believing him.
So when you've listened to a reaction to, I don't know how well versed you can be about a jury if you haven't witnessed them yourself, but we've heard a lot of firsthand accounts of people who have gone in there who have observed the jury. It seems like they've been reviewed as being very attentive, not super bored, paying attention. Any thoughts on the jury and what you've heard about them and how that might turn out?
I mean, it does sound like, from the reports I'm hearing from both left and right, that the jury is treating this like any other case, that in that respect. So they're listening to the testimony, they're reacting negatively when it's revealed that someone's lying. They're not just out to lunch having already made their decision. That's the vibe I'm getting. But again, I'm speaking as someone who hasn't even stepped inside that courtroom.
Sure.
So I'm relying totally on the sort of observations, that the very secondhand observations of the reporters in the room. But it sounds like they're actually they're taking the trial seriously and listening carefully to what the witnesses are saying and judging their credibility.
We're speaking with Will Chamberlain of the Article 3 Project. You can follow him on X at Will Chamberlain, article3project.org. Obviously we need to wait on the opinion of the court and the opinion of the jury to find out how this conclusion will come to be. But, you suggested that there is the possibility of acquittal. The court of public opinion, I mean, minds are going to blow if we get an acquittal out of this. And I'm also wondering about the implication of Michael Cohen, the revelation that he has stolen money directly from the Trump campaign. I'm just kind of wondering what you think the fallout of this trial might end up being.
I mean, I think the fallout of a conviction would be dramatic in the sense of, I don't think there's a huge chunk of the public that just won't accept it. That enough has come out in the course of this trial that I don't think that conviction will be seen as legitimate by the public. So whatever Judge Merchan decides, I don't think it'll sway that many votes ultimately. There's been so much in the public about Michael Cohen being caught lying under oath, being a convicted perjurer, that I don't believe people will take that seriously. I think if he's acquitted, it will be an enormous tailwind for President Trump. And really give him a lot of momentum, especially because none of the other trials or indictments against him are going anywhere, are getting resolved before the election. So basically the Democrats really thought they had this massive swarm lawfare attack that was guaranteed to get President Trump in jail before the election. And suddenly they realized, this is it. And this is easily the weakest on the merits of any of the charges against him.
Well, you're studied and practiced in the law. Does this hearten you? Does this give you confidence in the justice system that is in place, that even with some of the lawfare that has been applied, that it does feel like right now, with time, that a lot of this is resolving itself? There are great political implications, of course, in the timeline of how this is happening, but it does sort of feel, in the 30,000-foot view, like the justice system is shaking out justice, at least at this point.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, what's heartening is the Supreme Court's willingness to step in, but a lot of these things went a long way in the appellate system before somebody finally put a stop to it. I think perhaps the most embarrassing thing, and the thing that's really depressing, is people should go back and read the DC Circuit opinion on presidential immunity and try and reconcile that with prior precedent. I mean, maybe you're not a lawyer, so you don't see the problem, but that DC Circuit opinion was trash. It was garbage. And not necessarily because of the result, but of the logic of that opinion. It said there is no such thing as immunity because, and really you can depend on prosecutors to act in good faith 100% of the time. And there's no meaningful impingement on the executive branch. And not only is that just, on its face, obviously wrong, but it's in contradiction to the most important relevant case in that area, which is Nixon v. Fitzgerald. And if you Nixon v. Fitzgerald, all these similar arguments were made about civil liability in the sense of, well, we don't want presidents to think they're above the law. And the Supreme Court said, no. There's not going to be civil liability for presidents. They'd be sued into oblivion, and it would really impinge on how they would act as the executive branch. We're totally not going to get involved. And then to read the DC Circuit opinion, it's like they just pretended that the Supreme Court hadn't said anything about this topic before. Not even that they tried to distinguish it, they almost just ignored it entirely. And it's an embarrassing opinion. And even if you actually listen to the Supreme Court's the argument on presidential immunity, at one point Roberts asks DOJ's lawyer, like, are you going to defend this opinion at all? And the answer was effectively, no, we know it was wrong. We're just hoping you still ultimately reach a result that helps us, but we're not going to defend that stuff. And that's the second highest court in the land that issued an opinion that was so garbage the DOJ itself wouldn't defend it. I mean, that's depressing.
Yeah. It does seem like the rot is deep. It maybe hasn't killed the whole thing, but it does need to be rectified, which what I'm hearing here is that these judges that are placed in these jurisdictions or circuits or whatever the appropriate term is, this is where the Senate is going to really come into play. And if everyone's going to talk about the presidential election, of course, Donald Trump being at the epicenter of this, but getting those judges approved and through is really important, can make a huge impact down the line to preserving and protecting our justice system.
Oh, yeah. No, you can't. I mean, Democrats appoint justices that rule for Democrats in any political case, as a rule of thumb. I mean, there are exceptions, but, reading that DC Circuit opinion, you sit there and think that this is embarrassing. I would have been embarrassed to put my name on that opinion.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's one of the reasons. It's just yet another reason friends don't let friends vote for Democrats. The consequences of letting Democrats run things is not just who is sitting in the Oval Office. It's who staffs the entire executive branch and who gets appointed to every judicial position. So, if you have friends who lean conservative, but they're like, oh, I don't know about Donald Trump again, I'm really tired of him. Just tell them that's not who you're voting for. You're voting for a party, right? You're voting for you're basically voting for the 2,000 people who ultimately run our executive branch and our government.
Wow.
And you don't want those people to be the staffers that Democrats will hire. You know what those people will be like.
Yeah, we know what they're capable of because they flexed even beyond their measure quite a bit. Last question for you, Will, before we let you go. The judge still needs to give directions to the jury, correct?
Yes.
So can you kind of explain that process? From where the closing arguments will happen, the judge will give those directions. Just explain what's going to happen or what the possibilities are so people can really understand the timeline of what we're looking at here.
So basically, people understand that there is a criminal statute that says this is the conduct that is prohibited, right? The jury instructions phase is about how the judge translates that statute, that law, into basically a checklist or essentially a rules for the jury to follow in more plain language. And just more intuitive. So, but there's a lot of finesse and the judges can get that wrong. And if they instruct the jury incorrectly on the law, well, that's a legal error that can easily be reversed on appeal, because it means that the jury may have been finding somebody guilty of something incorrectly because they were instructed wrong about what the law was. So there's always debate about how the jury instructions are framed and, to accurately translate that. So I think that's one of the reasons they're pushing summations out, is because there needs to be time for there to be motions practice and debate and argument on what the proper jury instructions are before they can send the case to the jury itself.
Yeah, it kind of made me think of the Secretary of State gets to pick the language for a referendum or something on a ballot, and the wording, which is why that position is important for people to pay attention to. But the wording and the positioning of the words themselves can actually affect the outcome. So Merchan will once again have the opportunity to put some fingerprints on this issue.
Yeah, no, he's put his thumb on the scale in an enormous number of ways in this trial. I think the most blatant and jarring of which is his refusal to have a legal expert explain the details of federal election law, which is not a simple area. So he refused to have an expert on the theory that, well, the judge is supposed to be the expert on the law, so we don't need any experts' testimony on legal matters. But he's let Michael Cohen testify about what is a federal elections violation, and then didn't sustain any objections to that because it's like, oh, that's just context. It's like, no, you're letting people you won't have an expert in to tell us what effectual election law means, but you'll have this convicted perjurer with no expertise tell the jury that, oh yeah, this is an election crime. Like, no. That's that reversible error right there for sure.
It is comedy of errors so far, what we've seen. Well, then you heard it here first, folks. Will Chamberlain says there could possible acquittal coming. And I'm going to put a pin in that and keep looking at it, at least for a week, Will, and hope that you are right on that. Thanks for being with us today. It's always good to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Let's do it again. Will Chamberlain, senior counsel at the Article 3 Project, on Twitter at Will Chamberlain. Same thing as X. Article3project.org. That should be a poll question one day. Should I call it or Twitter or X? Because I panic every time I come to it. Everybody knows what I mean.
They just changed the URL.
To X?
X.com.
It's been X.com for a while. He's always owned it. There's been both. But it's like not happening for me. Anywho, Will Chamberlain, go follow him on X.com. We appreciate him and his expertise always, breaking it down to ways even I can understand. Wiggins America coming up next. I have not seen this topic until I'm reading it right now. Things that used to be better. There's too many places to take that.
You heard that too, didn't you?
Things that used to be better. Let's get not Will Chamberlain. You can go online and learn about all the stuff that I'm going to say here for you real quick about why you might want to contact the Retirement Advisory Group to inquire about your retirement planning. Here's where they specialize. If you were at the end of your 50s, if you're 60s, if you just even retired, you need to make some smart moves. And you don't want to miss the window of opportunity to make those smart moves so that you can set yourself up for a worry-free retirement. Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw and Tammy Kershaw can help you do that. And it all starts with a free conversation that results in no obligation on your own part. It's just a phone call. Set up an appointment and see what they have to say. 314-993-9494. 314-993-9494. Talk to them about your retirement. Talk to them about what you've amassed, what your dreams are in retirement, and make sure that you are in a position to succeed and exhale appropriately once that retirement actually sets in. 314-993-9494. Tell them Annie sent you. You can find them online at retirementkey.com.
Reason number 52 to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler. Only Diamonds Direct gives you a 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Let us explain. If you buy a diamond at Diamonds Direct today and decide in the future you want to upgrade to a larger diamond, Diamonds Direct will give you 110% of your original purchase price toward the new stone. For example, let's say you bought her a $5,000 diamond last year, but now she wants to upgrade to a $6,000 diamond. Diamonds Direct will give you $5,500 toward the new one. That's 10% more than you paid the first time. Guaranteed appreciation. Whether that first diamond was $3,000 or $30,000, you get 10% more. Who else does this? And unlike other stores who claim to offer diamond upgrades, at Diamonds Direct, there's no fine print and no minimum purchase requirement. It's 10% more, period. Come and discover real value and buy with confidence. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Official partner of the St. Louis Blues.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. RAMP.com/free.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
When you have Rhino Shield on your house, it does a couple of things for you. It beautifies the house and it protects it from the harshest elements. And boy, do we see those here in the greater St. Louis area. You get instant curb appeal. It will stick to anything. Rhino Shield is the answer, no matter whether you're painting a home or a church or a business or a condo, because it's 100% waterproof. It takes care of the outdoor maintenance on whatever is on the outside of your home. The brick, the block, aluminum, steel, stucco. They can put this on with the 2 to 3 coat process. They're there about a week, and they do a great job. A lot of businesses have done it in the area. Several Firestones have done that. Vantage Credit Union over the years. Harlan Packaging down in DeSoto. Call Darren today and schedule your free estimate. 877-25-RHINO. Easy to remember phone number. Or go online today at 877-25rhino.com.
Would you just give your house key to criminals? Having your personal information on the internet is like giving a thief the key to your home. They can take everything that's valuable to you anytime. But JoinDeleteMe.com can help you protect yourself. Online data brokers compile information about you and sell it to people who could ruin your life. But JoinDeleteMe.com scours the web, removes the personal information you don't want seen, and prevents data brokers, scammers, identity thieves, even political enemies from getting personal information that could hurt you, your family, or your reputation. You'll get regular reports detailing what they find and remove. And JoinDeleteMe.com isn't AI. It's real people working to keep your data safe. Keep your private life private with JoinDeleteMe.com. Today, get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to JoinDeleteMe.com/news and use promo code NEWS at checkout. Go to JoinDeleteMe.com/news and enter code NEWS at checkout. That's JoinDeleteMe.com/news, code NEWS.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need the best. Let us make your case our cause. Car accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
For garage door repair, St. Louis calls the real Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. They're the ones with the red ribbon. They're the ones who've been here since 1926. Others try to copy the name, but cannot match the level of service. The red ribbon means 94 years of trust and loyalty from St. Louis homeowners. Always look for the red ribbon. It means you've got the genuine, the original Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Call 314-781-5200.
Hey, we've been talking about it all hour. How will the Bragg Trump trial, this Trump trial, end? Will he be guilty? Will it be an acquittal, hung jury, or directed verdict? Those are your 4 options. Let us know what you think. We'll give you the results at the end. Anxious to see how this one turns out since there are so many options here. It's the Andy Fry YouTube live chat poll. 12:48 now. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
We're here to help you get registered to vote, whether you're in Missouri or Illinois. Democracy 2024 on 97.1 FM Talk. If you need help getting registered, go to 971talk.com/vote. This is the Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
Wiggins!
Oh, Wiggins!
So this is me being relatable. Doesn't everything just kind of suck? Because what I have here is a list of things that they suck now, but they used to be a lot better.
What do you mean this is you being relatable? That's a little presumptuous. Let us be the judge of that.
I know where everybody's mind's at, and they're like,
Ryan,
this guy seems like way too important to talk to in person. And I'm like, I'm trying to be more relatable.
This is a roller coaster ride of assumptions. What? You think that you see? Did
people
you
are
just
like,
say you're way too
he's
important?
so unapproachable.
You?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm trying to bring that down and just be like, I'm an everyman. I'm just like you guys. So
no. That's not it either.
I'm exactly the same as everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just saying, hey man, doesn't everything suck? And the guy next to me at the bar is like, yeah, Ryan, it does.
There's a lot of okay. No. Tell us what sucks, Ryan.
I got a whole list of them here. I want to know what you guys think that they've gotten worse, they've gotten better.
Downer Tuesday, upper Wednesday.
Yeah, most of these I think, yeah, you know what? They probably used to be better. The first one, movies in general, says, I feel like they used to have substance, but now everything feels like just a cash grab. Agree?
Movies in general,
movies in general
suck because they're a cash grab.
Because it's all just about promotion. They don't make as much.
It's not a cash grab if you don't give them your money.
It's true.
But isn't the entire point of making a movie making money?
I think what they're saying is movies used to have a little more depth to them. Now they're just basically marketing.
Man, no, just entertain me.
Okay. Next one. This one I really would like to know because I don't have an opinion on it. Makeup.
Really great.
Makeup.
This is the best kind of content.
It's
It's your segment, and you're like, I have zero opinions
in
on
the
this.
90s/early 2000s, you needed concealer, eyeliner, shadow, mascara, and some lip stuff to get the standard attractive look. Now, social media makes it seem like you need 100 different primers, fixers, gels, mattifiers, creams, eyebrow tools, and the list goes on. No? I don't have any opinion on this.
Okay. This might come as a shock to you, but I do not care what social media makeup influencers think about my 40-year-old face.
I probably should because I'm over 40 now. And
And you need concealer?
Yeah, I'm showing my age a little bit.
Yeah, those dark circles under your eyes are
Dark
starting to pop
circles,
through.
Some gray in the beard. A lot of gray in the beard.
My whole head is gray. So,
Okay, next one. Country music. Once it was good. And they're going back here to Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Willie Nelson.
this is written by Joe Biden. This sounds like something that Joe Biden would read.
No, I'm serious.
You remember the good old days, the country music days of Johnny Cash?
Merle Haggard.
You could
Big
take
iron
your
on your hip.
shotgun out to your backyard and fire 2 shots in the air, and everybody knew what you meant.
That's all true.
Not a joke.
Do you agree with Joe Biden here?
What?
Country
That Johnny
music
Cash was good?
used to be better than it is now.
I think there's a lot of great country music right now.
Yeah, there's good country music right now.
But will it ever compare to Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings?
I would rather listen to Chris Stapleton, an album of Chris Stapleton, than an album of Johnny Cash. But that doesn't mean that I have a problem with Johnny Cash. I don't compare. I mean, what was that, the 60s?
Yeah, that would have been 60s, 70s.
Hard for me to tell. I was 20 years not a thought.
Yeah. How about American fast food? Just fast food in general. Fast food, was it better when you were younger? Was it better even 20 years ago?
It was free when I was younger, at least to me.
Yeah.
Um,
And cost aside, because obviously inflation has killed it. But was the food itself better?
I feel like the experience was better. And when I say, like, when you were a kid, you got to go to the play place. They had those things.
You know why? Because we had more time.
Yeah. I think the employees were a little more attentive, but then again, when I was younger, it didn't really pay that much attention to that, so I could be wrong on that. But I think that the overall, like, fast food experience, and you could even throw, like, Pizza Hut in there. Like, do you remember going to Pizza Hut?
Book It.
Yeah, the Book It. You get your personal pan pizza.
You still do all that.
The tablecloths. And
Yeah.
then how many sit-down Pizza Huts are there that are left?
I don't know. In Edwardsville, they used to have one until, I don't know, a couple years ago, and they put a new one in, which I don't think you can. You might be able to sit in that one, but it's not. If it is, it's like 2 tables. It's not the Pizza Hut experience. But I mean, they didn't stick around for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
People don't go sit down. Everybody's in too big of a hurry.
Man, you know what I think COVID has probably killed finally, because they were already on the downs, was the play places in McDonald's. Burger King used to have them when we were kids too. I think those are, any new McDonald's is not building a play place in it.
They're disgusting.
I know. My wife wouldn't even hardly let take my kids there pre-COVID at all. And then
Yeah.
after COVID, she's like, that's a no.
Yeah,
That's
why
a
don't
standard
let's go intermittently eat bites of our cheeseburger that we're going to put our hands on while you jump in the ball pit.
I know.
Man, it's a ball pit in a lot of ways that I do not want you to be participating in. Gross.
How about this one? And it's a very specific version of the complaint here. It says the news. A lot of reporters speak with these odd, frantic voices, like they want you to believe that everything is an end-of-the-world crisis. A blizzard is not Armageddon, guys. I promise. But that seems like it's always been that way.
What is this from?
This is a compilation of many, many readers.
Is this BuzzFeed?
From BuzzFeed.
God dang it, Ryan.
It's a bunch of readers. And I think that there is some truth in some of these, which is why I'm bringing them up. and some that I think
BuzzFeed usually
are
goes to
overblown.
Reddit and just copies comments and makes an article out of them.
Possibly. Theme parks. Rising crowds, rising ticket prices, and rising costs for everything. I would have to agree.
Your problem isn't with theme parks. Your problem is with the economy and the people who manage it. Like, yeah, I got a problem with that.
Here's one that I really do believe. It says social media, and they're just going back to, they say, well, how about the era between 2012 and 2017? It was fun. It was just a platform to post silly, goofy pictures and stay in touch with people until the rise of influencers. Now I got to deal with algorithms and influencers.
I mean, you don't have to.
Well, I guess, yeah, you don't have to participate.
I don't really pay any attention to influencers other than maybe a few YouTube vloggers, which they are influencers, so to speak. But if they're providing me information, that's different than influencing. And everybody, to an extent, I mean, people would say that I'm an influencer, but I'm a radio host that happens to be on social media. And I don't go on my social media and try to change people's habits. I don't really know.
Last one, politics. Not that long ago, you could disagree with someone politically and have a civil discussion about it and remain friends.
Not in the social media world.
No.
This is how you are relatable? Is that the
I
takeaway
think
here?
people are walking away from this going, yeah, I understand what that guy's saying
I'm
now.
just like that guy. Thank you, BuzzFeed.
You're welcome.
Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg at 1:25. Don't go away.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new break you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-1424. 800-499-1424. 800-499-1424.
Air Comfort Service knows that as the heat rises, your air conditioner unit's going to have to work harder. And as we move into another St. Louis summer, you want to make sure your AC is at top notch. You also want to make sure that your loved ones are. I think this is really important. Check on your family, your friends, your neighbors who might be more elderly and need help with assessing those AC units to make sure that their home is cooling. When you need reliable service, when you need good people, great people who are going to come into the home and check out the situation, you need Air Comfort Service. 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. You can talk to them about coming in and tuning up, maintaining, or replacing that HVAC system. Also, if you've been dealing with really bad allergies, understand that they have whole home air purifiers that they can add that will really increase your ability to stay in your comfort zone. 314-513-0091. Give them a call today and tell them Annie sent you. Find them online at aircomfortservice.com.
If you have an IRS problem, getting accurate legal advice could help get this all behind you right now. Hi, I'm local attorney Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm. The IRS made new changes that make it easier to settle your IRS debt for a reduced amount. Not all our clients qualify, but under the IRS's new Fresh Start program, you may be able to resolve your IRS problems quickly and for less money. But don't wait. An IRS problem is a legal problem. You need someone who understands both the IRS and the law. Don't trust your tax problems to some TV personality. The Drury Law Firm has handled thousands of IRS cases over the last 15 years, and your first visit is completely free and confidential. And I'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it will cost. So if you're facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120, or go to LanceDruryLaw.com. If you have IRS issues, you need a local attorney. You need me, Lance Drury.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon
advertisements.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The president calls it a major milestone. Lisa Brady, Fox News.
In America, we leave no veteran behind. That's the motto.
2 years after signing the PACT Act, which gives health care benefits to veterans exposed to toxic substances during their service.
Today, I'm proud to announce the VA just granted its 1 millionth PACT Act claim. 1 million.
President Biden in New Hampshire now, Boston later for a campaign event. The Trump campaign raising $76 million last month, $25 million more than the Biden campaign. Testimony is over at former President Trump's hush money trial in New York. The defense resting today without calling him to the stand. Their second and final witness was Robert Costello, former advisor to former Trump attorney Michael Cohen.
Costello brought us back to 2018. That's when he said Michael Cohen came to him for advice and told him at that point that President Trump had nothing to do with the Stormy Daniels payoff and did not even know about it. But this morning, prosecutor Susan Hoffiger tried to undermine Costello by showing he really was part of a pro-Trump cabal who is in Trump's corner.
Fox's Eric Shawn at the courthouse in Lower Manhattan, where attorneys are about to meet with the judge to discuss jury instructions. But the jury is already dismissed until closing arguments on Tuesday. Former New York City mayor and Trump attorney Rudy Giuliani just pleading not guilty to 9 felony charges stemming from an effort to overturn the 2020 election results in Arizona. Giuliani appearing remotely for an arraignment held in Phoenix with a trial set for October. That election interference case has multiple defendants, also including former state party chair Kelly Ward, who also pleaded not guilty today. Apple says it will ask a federal judge to toss out a lawsuit filed by the Justice Department in 15 states, accusing the company of monopolizing the smartphone market and driving up prices. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. Call 800-822-1716. 800-822-1716.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Partly to mostly sunny skies for our Tuesday afternoon. Windy and kind of hot. 92 for the high. 93 is the record. Tonight, some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Windy and 69. Wednesday, partly sunny. Cooler, but still scattered showers and thunderstorms around 82 on Wednesday. 79 on Thursday. Still a couple of scattered showers and thunderstorms from time to time. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
How exciting is it that Ruler Foods now has delivery directly to your door? So those savings that you can enjoy while you're at Ruler Foods, you can get them shipped right to your door. That's fantastic. Learn more about how you can place your first order at rulerfoods.com. There are several things that you can save on right now that I think you will very much enjoy in your spring moving into summer kitchen. 2-pound strawberries or 18-ounce blueberries, $2.77 each. Mix those together. That's a great summer fruit salad. 12-ounce Bar S Frank's, 24-ounce Kroger ketchup, or 20-ounce Kroger mustard, 10 for $10. Pepsi, Mountain Dew, A&W, or Sunkist 12-packs, 4 for $16 anytime you buy 4. Save when you shop at Ruler Foods. You can go online right now to rulerfoods.com and learn how you can place your order for delivery, how you can save on these great products at Ruler Foods prices. The Ruler Foods brands that are Kroger brands, you can get your name brands as well. Easy to shop, easy to have delivered, easy to save at rulerfoods.com. The Illinois Republican State Convention is in Collinsville this Friday and Saturday. And if you want to plug in and help elect conservatives in Illinois, this is the place to be. The Annie Fry Show is broadcasting live from noon to 3 p.m. Listen in right here on 97.1 or stop by in person this Friday.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated.
This station is now conducting a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
During Renewal by Anderson's massive markdown sale, save hundreds on every window and patio door. With 0 payments and 0 interest for 18 months. Call by May 31st, 314-720-9200.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long. Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Well, thank you very much. Just to begin, you saw the news on inflation. It really is rampant. It's moving at a level like people have not seen. They don't seem to be able to cut it down. Biden has no control over what's happening. He started it with energy, and now it's taken on a life of its own. It's very sad. We'll get it fixed. I'd like to be out campaigning right now, but again, I'm going to be in here almost 5 weeks in court.
So Donald Trump, that was before court earlier. And in just a second here, we're going to listen to what Donald Trump is going to say here. He is walking out and he is talking right before they're going to go. I think the defense is rested. Let's listen in to what President Trump has to say.
There is no crime. In fact, I just got almost every review that's been done of the case so far. As they say, there is no crime. This should have never been brought. It should be dismissed before you even have a verdict, but we have a judge that's extremely, let's say complicated, but let's also say conflicted. He's complicated and conflicted, and it's a very strange situation. Nobody's ever seen anything quite like it. But we have a situation where we have no crime, and this next couple of hours is very important because the judge can try and manufacture one where he goes from a misdemeanor, which doesn't exist because of the statute of limitations, doesn't exist, absolutely. And they try and bring it into a felony, but you can't do it because they haven't been able to prove it. And you see what's happened there with the court. Remember, I'm gagged. I'm not allowed to say what I'd like to really say because you'd be very impressed. But I'm gagged, so why would I take the chance? But we do want to defend our Constitution, so at some point maybe I will take the chance. It's a very serious situation when a Republican nominee for president, the Republican nominee, somebody that won easily and quickly in record time, gets number one gagged and number two is before a Democrat-appointed judge, and you're playing with fire like this. It's very sad. But the good news is they've not proven a case. There is no crime. Now, you're going to read all of these experts, and you know the ones that have to go over their names again, but all experts, legal scholars, talented people, very smart people, and there is no crime. So maybe they'll try and devise one right now. The judge will help them out because the judge has been very helpful to the other side. And that should never be in our country. Now, on another note, Biden is releasing 1 million barrels of oil from the Northeast Reserve in a bid to lower prices at the pump just before the election because he's unable to drill properly. And he's destroyed everything we had. We were energy independent. We were shortly going to be energy dominant. And now he has to go into what's called the strategic reserves to give oil and gasoline essentially for cars so they don't have to go up to $7, $8, $9 a barrel. By the way, if he ever got in again, you would be paying more than $10 a barrel. You better hope he doesn't get elected, those that drive cars. And by the way, and everybody else in our country. So this is a big story, just came out. He's releasing 1 million barrels of oil and the strategic reserves. He's been doing this to keep the prices down, but the prices are now higher than they've been in a long time. They're very high. And so he's trying to stop that because high gasoline prices are not good for elections if you're on his side of it. But nothing he's done has been good for elections. Everything he's done has been very bad for our country. And the border, I don't know if you've seen, but the border, record numbers of people from prisons, from jails, from mental institutions, terrorists, record numbers of people are pouring into our country. Numbers like we've never seen before are pouring in. We have an incompetent president, and we have to win. And as I've said, November 5th, the most important day in the history of our country. Thank you very much, everybody.
So Trump walking away, he is speaking after the defense has rested their case, and lawyers, it's according to Fox News, are returning to discuss jury instructions. So that's what we were speaking about with Will Chamberlain on the show just about 30 minutes ago from now, maybe 40 minutes ago. Will Chamberlain with the Article 3 Project explain the process of what happens next in this trial and our YouTube live chat poll for today, which he answered right off the top of that conversation. How will the Bragg Trump trial end? You've got 4 options in today's poll, and in order to take it, you can go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel. We're broadcasting live there, F-R-E-Y on YouTube. And in the live broadcast right now, you'll see in the live chat portion this question: how will the Bragg Trump trial end? A guilty verdict, an acquittal, a hung jury, or a directed verdict? That directed verdict is what Donald Trump had said before court today, that he was hoping he would see the judge rule in this instance.
It should be an easy ruling, and it should really be, and I think it would be great for Judge Marchand to rule from the bench and to terminate this witch hunt. And it needs it. It really needs decisiveness. Every single scholar says there's been no crime, he's done nothing wrong.
So will we see that from the judge? No. Trey Gowdy, we started the show with him commenting an emphatic, no, not happening, not possible. Could he shock everybody? I guess he could, but I definitely don't see that being the case here. But it is one of the options of what could culminate out of this trial that Alvin Bragg has brought in Manhattan. The jury has been addressed as very attentive with a whole bunch of different people who have gone in and watched this trial from the inside, been able to see it with their own eyes and give firsthand accounts. Will they come up with an actual agreement? Will the 12 jurors actually come together and say, yeah, this is what we think, in a guilty verdict or in an acquittal? Or what I think the likely outcome is, and I think my vote for today would be a hung jury. I don't imagine... I guess I don't have enough confidence or optimism that what should happen in an acquittal here will actually take place. And when you're hearing people react to this trial and you hear them on CNN saying this.
It came out in a glancing, unclear way on direct. It came out like a bomb earlier today. I don't know how much they can do to fix that. It just... At a certain point, it is the fact Michael Cohen did steal this money. And what makes that really so important, Wolf, is it's not as if Michael Cohen was just stealing on the side. That'd be bad enough. The problem is he was stealing from the exact reimbursement at issue in this case. So the prosecution's core argument is Donald Trump knew what that $420,000 was all about. He was totally read in on it. Turns out Michael Cohen was stealing from him within that $420,000.
It's pretty unbelievable. And you can watch how every network is covering this trial, and they still have their slants and their leans and their opinions and their perspectives, but you can tell that there is no resounding Trump's is guilty of sin anywhere, in any way, shape, or form. That is not what has been presented in court, and there is no absurd way that the people who desperately want to see Donald Trump found guilty, put in jail, throw away the key. It's not happening here. Will a Manhattan jury of 12 individuals find him guilty? I guess it's within the realm of possibility. I don't see it happening. Same with the acquittal. My vote for this is hung jury. Ryan, what do you think for today's YouTube poll?
I'm going to go with guilty simply because, not just because of the courtroom that he's in New York, but because there are 34 counts. Last I checked. I mean, that maybe a little bit off, but last I checked, it was 34 counts that they're trying to get him on, that the jury will find him guilty on at least one.
They're all the same.
So, yeah, they are. But
I don't know how you'd parse that.
I don't know how they parsed it to even bring 34. So I think that they'll try to find some sort of detail and say, well, he's guilty on this one.
I can explain it. It's the same crime. It just happened in 34 different places. So the location of the instance is what they used in legal gymnastics to try to come up with all of these different charges. But if he didn't commit the crime, he also didn't commit the crime 34 times.
So he'd have to be guilty in all of them to be guilty in one of them, essentially.
I'm pretty confident that that's the case.
Well, if that is the case, then I would alter my answer to that question, and I would say that he's going to be there's going to be a hung jury. And the reason for that would be that I would think there's going to be at least one person in there who says, this is ridiculous. I mean, this case has been crazy.
Yeah, there's 2 lawyers on this jury, which I think that people generally don't think of lawyers as being like super conservative people, although we talk to conservative lawyers all day. But like, imagine being a lawyer on that jury and then having to go out and get a client and being like, you couldn't freaking understand the system there.
Yeah.
Why would you represent me here?
Yeah. So I do believe that this will be a hung jury. At least one person saying, I don't believe he's guilty of any of these charges. But I also don't think that the whole court the whole jury will swing that way either, because there are going to be at least one person on the other side who was convinced that Donald Trump was guilty before they came into the courtroom. So I think that you're just going to have a stalemate there, and it's going to be hung.
Yeah.
I am going to go with acquittal.
You're going with Will Chamberlain.
I'm going with Will Chamberlain here.
Ever the optimist, Brad Range.
This might be my optimism, but like their best shot was Michael Cohen, and he stole from Trump, and their whole entire case was built.
That might make people more of a fan of him.
But here's the thing: their whole case is built upon the premise that Donald Trump knew and was directing what was going on. And when Michael Cohen says on the stand that he stole money from Donald Trump, in this very instance, in this very case, this amount of money they're talking about here, and Donald Trump didn't know about it, it tells you automatically that Donald Trump didn't know what was going on. And even to the most hardened person, if you're fair, if you're honest, you're going to realize they don't have anything. This is nothing, and they will acquit him.
This is something that not everybody in America is paying attention to the details of. They may know that Stormy Daniels stepped up at best. They might see Michael Cohen and say, oh, I recognize him. But they're not necessarily, unless you're following the news, you may not know all the details. But I get the sense that this is one of those cases that 5 years from now, 10 years from now, maybe even 20 or further, people will learn the details of this case as a history and find out just how crazy it was and be like, oh, I remember, but I was tuned out. I just didn't want to pay attention to anything at that moment because I had enough at that time. But amazing what we had to put that guy through, and then he hopefully became president in 2024.
When we get past all of these trials, which I think we're probably not too far from, at least the active portion of these trials, I think that we had an expert on, and I can't remember which, we fortunately talked to a lot of them, was saying that maybe it was our last Thursday guest from Heritage suggested that we might see some of the January 6th trial go to court. Was that the one he said? Do you remember before the election? A lot of it rests on the immunity response from the Supreme Court. And I think that the expectation is a narrow ruling in favor of immunity, which will kick it back to the lower court where they will have to determine on each count whether it falls under immunity. And then those things can be appealed. Blah, 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 blah. It's like at the end of the day, November 5th is nearing and they won't be able to get through all that. If he becomes president, then gosh, people are going to lose their ever-loving minds.
This country is going to be an interesting place on November 6th.
A free day.
A
free country. Let's take a quick break and speak to Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg. He is a former national security advisor to the Trump administration, a co-chair for the Center for American Security at America First Policy Institute. We're always grateful to have the general on with us here on the Annie Fry Show. You might have heard there was a helicopter accident, and the Iranian president was in that helicopter and is dead. What next? I have no idea. Let's talk to Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg next.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
There's a destination a little up the road from the habitations of the towns we know. A place we saw the lights turn low, the jigsaw jazz and the get fresh flow. Pulling out jobs and jamboree handouts, 2 turntables and a microphone. Bottles and cans and just clap your hands or just clap your hands. Where's that?
STS Armory, sts-armory.com. Someone just said in the comments, Annie, get your guns. And I'm like, oh, I have. At STS Armory, they are my people. And we have, I've purchased quite a few firearms from STS Armory. And every time we've gone there, we kind of have an idea of what we're trying to do. My husband and I will talk to them about what we're trying to accomplish with a purchase. And we always listen to what Katie and Jesse and the staff at STS Armory have to say about what our next purchase is going to be. And they've never led us astray. And they will take into account, like, do you want top of the line? Do you want something that's adequate? What are you thinking? Like, we ended up buying a 22 Henry, and I remember Katie saying, there's this one and there's this one. And the Henry, and my husband's like, that's so pretty. And then I said something about being American made, and she pointed to the Henry, and I said, we'll take that one. So when you go to talk to Katie and Jesse and you are explaining to them what you're looking to purchase, if you have a FOID card issue, if you are looking to get your conceal and carry class, they do that. I have to do my renewal sometime this year. I'm going to STS Armory. Make sure that you got them. They're in Pontoon Beach, Illinois. Go by and say hi. Tell them the Annie Fry Show sent you. You can find them online right now at sts-armory.com.
Kick off your Memorial Day weekend as one of baseball's most historic rivalries returns to Busch Stadium. The Cardinals host the Chicago Cubs for their first 2024 trip to St. Louis, May 24th through the 26th. Tickets for this divisional showdown start at only $15, so don't miss out. Secure your seats today. That's the Cardinals and the Cubs this Memorial Day weekend starting at just $15. For tickets, visit Cardinals.com.
This is Jojo Romero, St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Michaelis brings it home. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Budweiser's First Beer Fridays returns to Busch Stadium, and tickets start at just $20. Catch the Cards and Cubs game on Friday, May 24th, and enjoy your first beer on the house. Your First Beer Friday ticket will be loaded with Cards cash that can be used to purchase a Budweiser, Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, or any beverage of choice. For full details or to purchase tickets, visit Cardinals.com/Friday.
This is Miles Michaelis. Get your tickets now at Cardinals.com.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want to plan you're happy with. You can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE, 855-51-BIBLE.
Surprise! Surprise! You know, surprise parties, they can be fun, right? Well, financial surprises, not so much, especially when you're retired, like finding out you owe more in taxes than you thought you would, or having to go back to work to make ends meet. Maybe you think you'll be okay, but why not double check just to be sure? Call Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions and schedule a retirement double check. Marvin and his team have been helping families plan for retirement for more than 15 years. Call 314-373-1598 to schedule your retirement double check with Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions. That's 314-373-1598. Don't let a financial surprise derail your retirement dreams. Give Marvin and the team a call, 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and in Illinois.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Is yours? Did you know that there's an R value associated with insulation? To find out your R value or for a free insulation estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Well, I'm taking a little time off, but Tuesday afternoon, Joe Beamer will be filling in. He'll have the very latest on the Trump trial from New York City.
Weekdays from 3 to 6. The Mark Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
The United States had no part to play in that crash, and that's a fact, plain and simple.
And Israel? Are you afraid they're going to blame Israel?
I won't speculate as to what they'll blame. Again, they have to conduct an investigation to see what the cause of the crash was. It could be a number of things: mechanical failure, pilot error, you name it.
So there you were listening to Lloyd Austin speaking about the helicopter crash, the Iranian president who died in that helicopter crash. And the rest of us are saying, okay, what now? I certainly don't know what the ins and outs are, but I do know how much of a player Iran is in all of the turmoil that's taking place in the Middle East. It always seems to trail back to Iran. So the question is, what next? That's why we go to our experts here. Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg joining us now, the former National Security Advisor to the Trump administration, as well as co-chair for the Center for American Security at America First Policy Institute. General, thank you for being back with us today. It's a pleasure to have you.
Annie, thanks for having me. Good to be with you. What's up?
I just want to I'm going to give you the floor. This helicopter crash, killing the Iranian president, seems like a really huge deal from the outside looking in. And with all the turmoil taking place in the Middle East right now, what do you make of this?
Yeah, Annie, this is one of those times I actually agree with Lloyd Austin, the Secretary of Defense. It looks like it was an avionics problem. It was a bad weather problem. I will tell you, flying in fog is really hard and it's really difficult to do, even with the best avionics. And I go back to what happened with Kobe Bryant, a year and a half, 2 years ago in California, when the helicopter went into fog, you lose spatial reference and you go onto the ground. And that's what happened. And I think this is one of those where it was a bad accident, but it compounded with probably bad avionics on the aircraft, not a real good airframe, and probably poor pilots. And that's what happened. Now, saying that, to me, losing Raisi to the world is not a bad thing. I mean, this is the guy who was known as the Butcher of Tehran, not a good friend, a hardliner. And, he's gone, and I think the world is better off for it. Now, there's not going to, on a replacement, you're going to get another hardliner. There's going to be no changing of policy.
So we're speaking with Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg about the death of the Iranian president. And I think that, when we in America think of president, we have an understanding of what that means here in our republic. I think it probably means something different in Iran. I want to know what the role of the president is there and what kind of command and decision-making process that position has. So we'll know a little bit more about the replacement.
Yeah, the difference on a president, the presidents are not necessarily presidents in some are name only, because the real authority in Iran is the supreme leader, and that's Khamenei. And Khamenei is in his mid-80s, and Raisi was in his mid-60s. And Raisi was supposed to be the replacement for the supreme leader. The supreme leader is, in fact, for lack of a better term, the president, commander-in-chief, the emir, whatever it is going to be out there. He kind of runs everything, and everything below it is a function of what the supreme leader wants to do. He's the ultimate authority in everything. So when you think about it, if you had to do a wire diagram, while the president is important, he's actually number 2 in the pecking order in the list. But still, it's an important role because he's, for lack of a better term, he's the implementer. So if the supreme leader says do this, then the president will figure a way to go out and do it. A succession plan, they do have somebody that is going to be a successor for 50 days. And after 50 days, you have to have an election. And, of course, it's kind of a controlled election. And there's a great possibility that the supreme leader's son will, in fact, be selected to replace Raisi, and then would set them online to replace the supreme leader.
So there will be that succession that will be put into play. And, every day that passes in the Middle East right now is a consequential day. They have reacted very aggressively towards Israel, which, in some cases, if the helicopter crash was, as you say, and a series of very unfortunate events, at least for the president, never let a good crisis go to waste, I suppose, to direct this towards Israel. What do you make of that reaction and Israel's part in this?
Yeah, that's one of those. Well, of course they're going to say that. They can't very well say, or they wouldn't say, well, we just have bad pilots, bad aircraft, and fall apart. Remember, one of the first things they said out of the gate, the Iranians, they blamed us. They said, well, if it wasn't because of the sanctions, we wouldn't have problems with our airframes and maintenance of it. Oh, okay, great. Well, I would say to them, well, then fly a Russian aircraft, okay? Don't fly a U.S., because it was a U.S. Bell helicopter. And they probably couldn't get the parts to do it. Of course, they're going to blame us first. Then they're going to blame Israel. And remember, this is the same nation that the leadership says, in parallel, death to America, death to Israel. Okay, put us in the same bag. And unfortunately, I don't think the policies are going to change any. It's going to stay the same. It's an authoritarian society. The leadership has got the guns and the levers of power, and they're not going to give them up.
General Kellogg speaking with us right now, the former national security advisor to the Trump administration and co-chair for the Center for American Security at America First Policy Institute. If you're not directly involved, as you are, of course, in foreign policy measures and understanding the way the world works, I think that Americans have a very comfortable existence here. God bless America for that. That we don't really understand. When you say like the rule by gun, I don't think that a lot of Americans and even myself understand the full capacity of what that means. The butcher of Tehran? What does that mean to us folks who may not understand the ways of the world over there? How do these leaders function?
Well, this is where, I say that his moniker was the butcher of Tehran. We'll put it in American terms. Okay, so now you've got somebody who's leading the country and is directly responsible for the killing of thousands of people, executing because they were opponents to the regime.
His own people.
When you call about his own people, yeah. And then when you talk about the levers of power, because they've got the Iranian military and the Revolutionary Guard, they've got all the weapons. They don't have weapons in Iran that it'd be like we do with our the Second Amendment and going around and having weapons to be able to shoot, go on. They don't have that ability. So there's no ability to fight back against an authoritarian regime, even if they wanted to. So when you think of the United States, okay, think of somebody who's got life and death over you. Remember, there was a young lady who was basically killed, murdered, because she wouldn't wear a headdress, a hijab. So think of going into a store and normally they want you to wear a scarf on your head. You don't wear a scarf. The revolutionary police come out, grab you, beat you to an inch of your life or kill you, and everybody goes, okay, well, that's okay. She violated the revolutionary code. And oh, by the way, everybody else has got the guns to shoot you if they want to. And oh, by the way, there's no trial of your peers. They just execute you when they want to execute it. And so you kind of look at it and go, really? He said, oh, yeah, that's the way Iran is, as an authoritarian dictatorship. So it's one of those, it's apples and oranges. And you'd have to tell the American people, unless you really kind of understand that these people are evil people. So when somebody like him leaves the world in a helicopter crash, I don't do what this administration, the Biden administration does, of saying, well, we send our condolences to the people of Iran. No, not at all. And that's what's happening all through this administration and other national administrations as well. Virtually every member of NATO said, oh, it's too bad this individual passed away. No, the guy's a thug. I mean, that's the frustration you run into, because a lot of that is naivete on the part of the American people, unfortunately, because sometimes they don't understand the workings of international affairs. This government is basically aligned very closely with Russia. It's aligned very closely with China, and you've got that bad axis of evil working in tandem.
I'm looking at a Fox News report right now that the United Nations has lowered the flag to half-staff in honor of the Iranian president. Does it surprise you that the UN did that?
No, not at all, Annie. Not at all. I'd be surprised if hopefully the American White House, they didn't go over the White House. But that's what I'm talking about. So it's one of those, it's convoluted, but it's sort of like, and I'll do an intellectual leap. It's sort of like the International Criminal Court basically saying they want to bring charges against Bibi Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, and Gallant, his Minister of Defense. And, oh, by the way, we'll bring charges against Sinwar, who's leading the Hamas terrorist group in Rafah. There's an equivalence there. There's no moral equivalence, and I think you can't take it that way. Yet what they do, the UN says there's a moral equivalence. No, there's not. These people are bad people, and that's what you run into. That's the constant fight we have as Americans, that we need to draw a line. There are good people, there are bad people, and we're on the side of the good people, not the bad people. But see, that's a good example of the UN just kind of saying, well, you're all in the same boat. No, you're not. And I think you have to draw that line, Annie, of moralism, and I think it's important, of who's good and who's bad, and stick to it. By the way, this government hasn't done that very well either.
Yeah. That's the principles matter, and you need to know what they are going into the conflicts and to these types of news stories as they develop, so that you can adhere to them in the midst of them. I think that's great. That's a great point. Thank you, General, for being with us today. Always love your insight on these issues, because they make it a little more clear for the rest of us to understand. So we're thankful for you.
Thanks, Annie. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you so much. Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, the former National Security Advisor to the Trump administration and co-chair of the Center for American Security at America First Policy Institute. On X at General Kellogg, 2 L's, 2 G's. Go tell him hi, and thanks for coming on the show, if you so choose. All right, let's take a quick break. YouTube live chat poll for today. How will the Bragg Trump trial end? Guilty, acquittal, hung jury, or directed verdict? Are we ready upon return in just a few minutes, Brad, for Trash Talk Tuesday?
Oh, I am so ready for this.
All right, get the dumpster fires ablazing in the Annie Fry YouTube channel comments. Whew! I just got to put my tough girl pants on for this one. Let me have it when we come back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
The Diamond Shop, you find them online at thediamondshop.net, but you can also find them in Clayton when you walk in. A beautiful store full of beautiful things that are 30% off all in-stock jewelry right now at the Diamond Shop. When you walk into the Diamond Shop, you're going to meet Tom, you're going to meet Mona, you're going to meet Nikki, you're going to meet the other amazing customer service reps that they have there that are focused on you when you come in and listening. Boy, isn't that refreshing to have somebody when you walk in welcoming you, listening to you, so that they can help you find the very piece that you're looking for in the budget that you are looking in. That's what the Diamond Shop is. you don't get to be as successful as they are and be here since 1910 without adhering directly to customer service principles that matter, that keep you in business generationally. That's what the Diamond Shop does. And I will remind you, you get an opportunity to save an extra 10% by becoming a Diamond Shop VIP. If you go to thediamondshop.net, scroll to the bottom, fill out that quick little form there, save the money on your next purchase. 30% off all in-stock jewelry, 10% extra for VIPs. Learn more at thediamondshop.net.
If you have a problem with the IRS, believe me, it's not going away on its own. The IRS never gives up. They have endless resources, so they control the game. Well, your tax problems can end. I'm attorney Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm, a local tax resolution firm with an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. I've handled thousands of IRS cases over the last 15 years. So when you hire me, you won't be speaking long distance or sending money to some TV pitchman that's riddled with consumer complaints. Your first visit is completely free and confidential, and I'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it will cost. So call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120. Or go to Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com. If you have IRS issues, you need a local attorney, you need me, Lance Drury.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Mark Cox here. Did you know that over half the appointments Window World will set this year are either previous customers or referrals from those customers? That tells you all you need to know about Window World. One thing that separates this company from the pack is that commitment to customer service and their excellent track record with both the Better Business Bureau and other reporting agencies. I am a satisfied customer. I love their lifetime warranty. And in just over 20 years of business, they've helped over 72,000 customers in St. Louis improve the look and the thermal efficiency of their homes. Right now, Window World is offering 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. That is a great deal. Call them right now. Get a free home estimate, 314-993-1800. They'll show you why they are simply the best for less. That's 314-993-1800, 993-1800, or go online to windowworld.com.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com. If you're planning a graduation party, let Grill Master Tony do the cooking. Mark Cox here. He can make his delicious brisket, his pulled pork or pulled chicken with all the sides. They'll make 10 people as important as 100. Plus, he does corporate lunches. Let Tony bring the grill to you. Hot dogs, hamburgers, chips, cookies, or you can customize it with their delicious brisket and delicious sides. Visit them and order today online at grillmastertony.com.
Today's Andy Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day. How will the Bragg Trump trial, which is the one that's currently happening with Stormy Daniels and Michael Cohen and all these people, how will that one end? And it may end as soon as next week, according to Will Chamberlain. Guilty, acquittal, hung jury, or directed verdict. Now, you may have to look that one up, but let us know what you think of all four of those. Which one are you betting on the ending of this Bragg trial, the Bragg Trump trial out of New York? 143. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
We're here to help you get registered to vote, whether you're in Missouri or Illinois. Democracy 2024 on 97.1 FM Talk. If you need help getting registered, go to 971talk.com/vote. This is the Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
Yes, I did.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Real quick, let's reset the YouTube live chat poll before we dive into Trash Talk Tuesday dumpster fire time, where these two boys get to trash me via your comments.
It's going to be great. We're both really looking forward to it.
Feeling really creative on accounts here, too. Maybe we create accounts.
Don't understand why you guys pushed so hard to do this segment.
Well,
but maybe I will shortly.
We see all the criticisms. We feel bad about personally saying them to you. But if we're
these
just
all your accounts?
If we're just reading
I think I figured something out here.
If we're just reading them from other people. Now, Annie, I don't know if you've ever been online or not, but it can be a kind of nasty place.
I do my best not to.
So we thought we would bring up what we thought were the best. Well, I don't even know if about best. Just criticisms. We just thought criticisms would be fun to read to you of different things that you've said over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, let's figure that out. All right. YouTube live chat poll: how will the Bragg Trump trial end? Guilty, acquittal, hung jury, or a directed verdict? A directed verdict being where the judge goes, the prosecution didn't even come close to proving some sort of crime here to have the jury deliberate, so I'm just ending it right now. We got to ask this question during the Will Chamberlain conversation, and it was a question that I had previously asked of Will Scharf when he was in studio, because Will was explaining the directed verdict thing where the judge could say, no, this is ridiculous and it's over and we're not wasting any more time. And I quickly asked, wait, can he do that with a guilty verdict? Like, he's guilty of sin. You know, gavel down and that's it.
Doesn't matter what they said.
No, he can't do that.
Okay.
Because if he could, I just kind of think I know how this would go.
Yeah.
So the directed verdict is only, like, this is not the legal term, but like acquittal by judge.
Right.
So your thoughts on this one real quick before we get to the trashing?
Yeah, I went back to hung jury because of the pre-baked notions people already have about Trump going into the trial.
Yeah, I'm acquittal. I'm bright eyes. I am
You're bushy-tailed.
I've got confidence in this jury of intelligent people from the state and city of New York.
Okay. Man, clip that video, and then we'll trash talk him on next Tuesday.
Oh, that sounds great. Yeah. Although I really prefer directing it at you, though. It's much more fun.
Therapeutic for you?
I think so. And I don't even know about fun because we haven't done it yet, but I am looking forward to reading these.
You know, in so many things, vacations, Christmas, it's the anticipation that really makes it special.
It really is. And opening every single one of these trolls' comments about you is like a gift.
And I'm just like, the more trolls, the more comments.
We just throw the wrapping paper at you.
All right, here's the first video, and this one was where I was talking. I think this was just me talking. I don't think I had a guest in the studio when we did this, but I said that what Donald Trump needs to do in the debates, this is after the debates were obviously levied, that what he needs to do is be his charming and kind self. Would you agree, Ryan, that Donald Trump is a charming person?
Well,
now don't read the comments.
That's tough to say right now.
Don't you think he can be incredibly charming?
Yes, he can. He made a television career out of being just charming enough.
Everybody loved him until he was a Republican.
Yeah. I mean, he has the charm to pull off being mean Trump. Because you can't just be mean and be a television star.
It's a
you
choice.
have to have a thing that you can do to bring people over to your side.
You can't be that kind of successful businessman without being a little bit charming.
All right, so let's listen in here and see what I said initially and what we made a video here. Do you have a video? Do you have it up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's not playing. On the Annie Fry YouTube channel, you can easily see these. Do you have it turned up and everything?
Yeah, everything's up on my end.
Oh, it's not. Oh, I know why. It's because I have this muted. Here, this is my fault. Here we go. You're a kind man. Everybody says this about you when we're talking about relationships that you've had with people who have worked with you, who've been around you, who've visited your properties, who've had experience with you. They all say the same thing, that you are shockingly charming and attentive and kind. This will be your opportunity to take the camera in front of you in that debate and charm the American people while Donald Trump shows the world who he is in all of these private instances. This will be the opportunity for you to do this publicly. And Joe Biden will be over there, either a bumbling mess or a sped up version of his bumbling mess. Donald Trump. So that was the short video. You can see these videos and these comments for yourself and join in the trolling. So is it time? Should we get to Trash Talk Tuesday?
Yep.
Trash Talk Tuesday.
Only you can prevent
dumpster fires.
Dumpster fires.
Burning dumpsters.
It's totally out of hand.
Let's talk some trash.
At Annie.
Ryan.
So she hadn't heard that yet.
Did you get the big voice guy to say, let's talk some trash?
I did.
Oh, he's so
today.
I always hope that when he sees a request coming through for our show, he's like, goody.
I always like the ones that I send and I say, I need this and I need it now.
Okay. This is one of them.
This was one of them.
All right. What do you got?
All right. First one.
All right. First one is, should I say the person's title or just read the comment?
You can summarize it.
Okay. So.
Marcus?
Yeah. Okay. Marcus. Have another glass of Kool-Aid. He's a monster. That was the first one regarding that post.
I don't think he's a monster. I also don't drink Kool-Aid. I'm currently drinking Pepsi. Zero sugar.
Well, what he's implying, though, is that you are in a cult. You are willing to die for the cause.
No, the other ones say that exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
The next one. Apparently, you've mixed up the word charming with the word con, and that's from Elijah.
People who are cons are charming. And I would say the same thing about Joe Biden. That's kind of the whole thing. It's a long con. And he's been in the biz the whole time. How did he get wealthy as Scranton Joe?
You know what's weird? And I think both of you have alluded to this before. The only thing left of Joe Biden is that outer shell of a politician. Like the substance that he once had is gone. And even that shell is starting to wear pretty thin.
Mm-hmm. Got another one?
Yep.
Next comment is from
Lucas.
Okay, Lucas. You speak bull blank.
No, it's you speaking.
Oh, yeah, sorry. You speaking. So,
bologna sausage.
In present tense.
Mm-hmm. This is what I do.
You speaking bull blank.
Yeah, so that's it for that video, but we do have another video we want to show you.
So the Will Scharf one that we're going to talk about was when Will was in studio with us, and he was talking to us about the debates. I think he came in, it was really basically right after the news had broken that there were going to be debates, and everybody was kind of like, wait, what? Are you serious? So let's listen into what Will Scharf had to say.
B vitamins and amphetamines and hope for the best at this CNN debate, and I think it's going to be absolutely brutal. President Trump is sharp. He's on point. Every public appearance, he is absolutely crushing it. They can rig the rules however they want. I think it's going to be a great day for the Republican Party.
So there you have it. Comments? This is really
one.
speedy. I could take naps in these pregnant pauses.
Person non grata or something like that.
Persona.
Persona non grata says, be great day for Republican Party? Because it's a question mark. Be great day for Republican Party? Like the red
Tsunami.
Tsunami. Like the red tsunami in 2022? What a clown.
Yeah, Will Scharf is a clown. He'd like that one. Maybe we will. Maybe we were just calling it the wrong thing the whole time. It wasn't a red tsunami. That was a red tsunami. What did it say?
Tsunami.
Tsunami.
Yeah.
And there we go.
What a clown.
All right, this one is from Janet. She says Trump is a traitor.
Well, these are very
substance. A lot of substance.
Yeah.
Okay, Chuck says, what'll be fun is watching Trump blather on and on after his mic is shut off.
Yeah, Donald Trump's going to be the blatherer at the debates.
Well, there will be a moment where they'll be speaking and then it'll just suddenly stop.
Mm-hmm.
But so with that in mind, both candidates will deal with that. Which one do you think will not know when the mic is off?
I think Joe Biden won't know when the mic is off. I don't think Donald Trump will care when the mic is off.
He'll just keep yelling.
He'll just be speaking loud enough.
He'll yell into Joe's mic.
I'm pretty confident that he's gonna. That's not gonna look good for him. He's got to be getting the coaches. Kellyanne Conway's got to be going, listen here, mister. Because I think Kellyanne Conway is one of the only people who he'll shut up and listen to when it comes to advice like that, because she knows what she's doing.
All right, I got one here from Ruben. Trump will be a train wreck. Guaranteed Fox will be Trump's apologist and make excuses.
Maybe. Not necessarily wrong. Could be possible.
Is this the last one?
No, I got one more.
Okay, one more after this one. Sue says, I'm trying to pronounce this correctly because it's not spelled correctly.
Seriously?
Yeah, serious. Okay, I mean, it's still phonetically correct.
Just read it as
seriously. Drump will fail. Seriously, Drump will fail.
What word was not spelled right?
Seriously,
Pretty
was
sure
that
it's
spelled right? Well, now who's an idiot?
That's it. SERIOUSLY.
It's the best radio we've ever done.
All right, last one, and this is Rankis. All right, LMAO, killing it. Hannibal Lecter, the late great Hannibal Lecter, had friends over for dinner. The man's losing cognitive abilities at an alarming rate, especially as it gets later on in the day. Space. He struggles horribly reading his scripts after the trial each day! Exclamation point.
He's not reading scripts. And Biden can't even read scripts. He has cue cards everywhere he goes. He orders ice cream at just a conveniently located shop and can't handle that right.
That's going to be the key to the whole thing, isn't it? That when he went off script a little bit at State of the Union, that's when he messed up the worst.
Yeah.
Now he's going to have an hour and a half to 2 hours of no script that maybe he will be forced to stay on some sort of bullet points, and they're going to really rehearse that, but he won't have a teleprompter. So what is it going to look like? When Will Scharf says this is going to be Trump's night, is going to be great for the Republican Party, I can't disagree with that.
It's going to be fun to watch. I can't wait. And we're going to have a debate watch party, so you keep it right here. Big things planned. I can't give the full details right now, but that first debate Thursday, I think it's June 27th. Mark that on the calendar because you're going to come hang out with me, I hope. Keep that up. Keep that thought in mind. We'll give you details as soon as we have them to give. Looking forward to it. All right, let's take a quick break. The 2 o'clock hour of the Annie Fry Show right around the corner. We want to hear from you on the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. How will the Bragg Trump trial end? Guilty verdict, an acquittal, a hung jury, or a directed verdict? Meaning the judge goes, the prosecution hasn't even come close to proving a crime occurred here. I'm taking it and throwing the rest of it out. That is a directed verdict on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. Go vote. Tell us what you think. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
You know, I don't know what is going on here, but I was recently attacked servicing an air conditioner by 2 cicadas. Definitely planned. It had to be planned. One flew right into my mouth, and when I spit that horrible thing out, one came crashing into the back of my head. But I'm just telling you, cicadas don't taste good. They're gross. Something has to be done. So everybody be careful out there with the cicadas. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Be careful with the cicadas. I know there was at least one planned attack on me by 2. But again, this is about air conditioning. So if you do need service on your air conditioner this summer, what works really good, I found, for me and my customers is if you just save this number. My name and the number in your phone, that is 314-293-2600. Or on the website, and you can see some videos, bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket.
Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. ramp.com/free.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
President Biden makes a move on gas prices. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The administration tapping into a Federal Reserve to help lower prices for drivers over the summer.
The Energy Department is selling 1 million barrels, representing about 42 million gallons of gasoline from the Northeast Gasoline Supply Reserve in New Jersey and Maine. The reserve was established in the aftermath of Superstorm Sandy. Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm says the strategic release between Memorial Day and July 4th will ensure sufficient supply of gas in the New York region and northeastern U.S. at a time Americans need it the most.
Fox's Jared Halpern. Republicans have taken issue with previous releases from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, accusing the president of playing politics. Former President Trump just telling reporters gas prices are high.
So he's trying to stop that because high gasoline prices are not good for elections if you're on his side of it. But nothing he's done has been good for elections. Everything he's done has been very bad for our country.
He's back at the New York courthouse where the defense rested earlier today at his hush money trial. The jury is dismissed until next Tuesday when closing arguments are expected, but attorneys are discussing jury instructions with the judge. Arraignment day for multiple people in an Arizona election interference case.
Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani pleading not guilty to 9 felony charges, including conspiracy, fraud, and forgery, appearing remotely for an arraignment in Phoenix. Prosecutors allege he and 17 others conspired to appoint fake electors in the 2020 election to back former President Trump, despite President Biden's victory in the state. A judge requiring Giuliani to post a secured appearance bond of $10,000, setting his trial for October.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin, the former president's not charged in that case. Just getting word the October death of actor Matthew Perry is under investigation over the level of ketamine found in his blood. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. Call 800-822-1716. 800-822-1716.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Partly to mostly sunny skies for our Tuesday afternoon. Windy and kind of hot. 92 for the high. 93 is the record. Tonight, some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Windy and 69. Wednesday, partly sunny. Cooler, but still scattered showers and thunderstorms around 82 on Wednesday. 79 on Thursday. Still a couple of scattered showers and thunderstorms from time to time. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ziprecruiter.com/radio. That's ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
If you're thinking of selling your home, I'm sure there are two things you want: certainty and the most money, right? Hi, it's Mark Cox, and if you've been listening to me for some time, you know the only agent I trust is Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis real estate expert. Here's why she should be your first and only call when looking for an agent. Gloria doesn't make empty promises. No, she provides written guarantees. Now, what does this mean for you? Certainty. Now, certainty isn't the only thing you want. You also want the most money. Gloria is able to get her home sellers more money than the average agent because she already has the buyers. This is why Gloria will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed upon price, or she'll buy it. To get your guaranteed price, call St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Your garage door is always there for you, rain or shine. Are you taking your garage door for granted? Is it screeching and whining for attention? Trust Overhead Door Company of St. Louis to keep your garage door reliable. Maybe the old weather stripping needs replaced to keep out the cold and hot air. Call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, trusted here since 1926. For same-day service, call 314-781-5200 and schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Download the free Upside app and earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Download the free Upside app now and use promo code GIFT for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's promo code GIFT.
97.1 FM Talk. You're here. Not because of a label, but because conservative ideas actually work. St. Louis is home for conservative talk. This is 97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thanks for being with us Tuesday afternoon here. Temperatures are pretty warm outside, so hopefully you're enjoying this weather. My computer in front of me says it's 86 degrees and windy, which is maybe the perfect day. So I'm looking forward to getting outside tonight. My son graduates tonight, 8th grade.
Congratulations.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Was it a fun weekend?
State. We went to state track. I had talked about going. We broadcasted live at the St. Clair County GOP Republican Golf Scramble. It was a Tamarack golf course in Shiloh on Friday. It was a great event. Really fun to be out there with some really great people. And I had to bolt directly out of the show in Shiloh to go pick my son up to take him to Chicago with my husband. And so he could compete in the state track meet. And he had qualified in discus. We didn't really allow him to compete in too many other events. He also plays baseball right now, and he pitches. And the idea of doing shot was a little intimidating for me. That's if you put the shot incorrectly once, you can really jack up your shoulder. And we didn't want to put him in line to do that. But he wanted to do something after basketball season got done. He wanted to continue playing school sports, and he had never done track before. So he said he was going to do discus and track. And then he ran too, and he would compete well, finished maybe like third in the 100, fourth in the 100 or something like that. And I think he did the 100 and the 200, but I mean, he's not a runner. He's fast, but he didn't take it too terribly seriously. And in track, he was the only 8th grade boy who participated. So it's kind of like, just go with the flow. He was just doing something else. But he did really well with discus. He finished first in half the meets he competed in and placed in all the meets that he competed in. And so we drove to Chicago for the meet. And Saturday morning at 9:30 is when discus was called. And we were done by 11:30 or noon. And he finished 5th in the state.
Oh, I hadn't heard that. That's
His,
great.
You got 4 throws. And he threw his first 2 throws were on par with his good throws. So he threw, like, it was good to get those first 2 throws in. The first one was like 98 or 99 feet, and I think the second one might have been a hair over 100 feet. They're measured in meters.
I know.
Whatever. It's
Go back
America.
to Europe.
So the second one, I think, just inched over 100. It might have been 103, maybe. Maybe it was a little bit further. I can't remember. Scratched his 3rd throw because he threw it out of bounds. And then I don't know how much you guys know about discus, but you stand in a ring, and a discus is a flat disc which you throw out into a field. It has to land fair. You have to stay in the ring and under control until the official who is there to measure says mark, and then you have to exit the back half of the ring. If you tap the top of the outside of the ring, or if you step out of the ring before mark is called, it's a scratch. If you throw out of bounds, it's a scratch. So there, you have to basically make the throw. It has to be a good throw, and it has to be in bounds, and you have to be in control. So if you like just whip it around there and then fly out of the front of the ring, you can't do that. Although that might be more fun to watch.
Do you have to throw it in the form that you always do, like under your arm like that? Or can you throw it like a Frisbee?
Excuse me, how?
Like this, like where you hold it, it's under your arm
No,
like
that's
this?
not where it is.
Where is it?
It's this big.
It's in your hand.
Yeah.
The disc fits under your first knuckle.
Okay.
You're not palming it in any way, shape, or form. You're using force to keep it in your hand.
But I thought you had to hold it like this, where it faced down toward your body.
You don't put you have. This is great radio.
Yeah.
Explain. Not hold it like this. You tell people how you're doing it. You have your hand wrapped around it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the first knuckle, so it would fit like around your hand right this. So it would probably go to just a little bit past the wrist of the thrower. It's
basically palming it.
No, well, I mean, in the sense that it's in your palm, yes.
Yeah, okay.
But you're not holding it. You're guiding it, and you're using centrifugal force to keep it in your hand.
Okay.
So, like, when you go to throw a discus, when you are moving through your throw, if you're holding it correctly, if you were to stop moving, it would fall out of your hand.
So
there's no physical grip on it.
So holding it like a Frisbee would be considered stupid and not revolutionary.
Definitely stupid.
Okay.
But I mean, I've seen people, like, I don't know that there's a specific way that you are required to hold it.
Okay.
Like, if you went up there and just like whipped it like you would do a Frisbee, it won't go far, but it would be better than a scratch, and it would be better than I've seen some of these other guys do it where they're trying to do it right.
Okay.
I mean, they've been doing this since the ancient times.
Ancient, don't say
ancient, yeah.
So he learned how to do it. He was successful at it. I mean, my son's a decent-sized 8th grade boy. He's not little. He's not huge. And when it came to his 4th throw, so the first 3 throws, he did what we refer to as a step-in, which is a drill that we just moved all the way into the ring. Because before you start your throw, you have to start all the way in the ring. So there's a drill where you can, like, step into the ring and finish with a one spin or whatever. And it gets you extra motion. There's the full spin where you start facing the back of the ring, and then you whip your, if you're right-handed, right leg around, plant it in the middle of the ring, and then you're basically coiling yourself up and then uncoiling and using the force of that quickness to throw it correctly. The last one, he's like, I want to do a full spin. It's like, and I said to my friend who coaches for another school, is a good friend of ours. He says he wants to do a spin. Should we just let him do it? And he's like, yeah, he's done. He's done what he can do. So
it's like having the 4th man come up in the scramble.
Something like that.
You don't need to put it right down the middle. Just swing away.
Yeah. This is from golf scramble talk. As the female on the golf scramble team, I will go first, take it nice and easy, hit it straight, and then the dudes get to come up and swing away. Hopefully the ladies' advantage is so big that it doesn't matter and I still beat you. But that's not always the case depending on the golf course.
It's not usually the case with me. Go ahead.
I know what the rule is if you don't get your ball past the ladies' tees.
I know that rule too.
I've
Doesn't
played with
usually
you.
apply to me.
Not usually. From time to time.
Wait, this isn't Texas.
Texas rules?
Yeah.
So he goes up there in the fourth one, and he's like, I want to spin. And we're like, okay, go for it. Focus, do this, do that, get your arms flat right, get your hand flat, whatever. And he went up there, and he threw his PR on his last throw as a Holy Cross Brave, which was pretty cool.
PR meaning public relations?
Yes. Personal record.
Oh, that's even better.
I guess. I hadn't considered the alternative. He threw his best throw of the entire season, which was also his entire career because this is the only time he's ever done discus. And he threw, I think it was about 108. If it wasn't 108, I think it was like 107 feet, 11.92 inches or something. 108 in America. Inflation.
Yeah, if there's one thing I learned about discus when I was in high school, it's that it's not, there's no I in team. It's not disc
There's an I in discus.
It's not disc you. It's discuss. And I've never forgot that, Annie.
It's more like discus.
No.
So he threw his best on his final throw, and that moved him. I think he was in 7th place when he was done with 3 throws, and I think it bumped him up to 5th with his last throw. So it's a really cool way to end his his athletic career. He played baseball and volleyball and basketball through his 8th grade year and tried new things and was really successful at it. And I have to check, but I think he's getting straight A's. He's, as an 8th grader, taking freshman algebra. And if he's not getting an A, it's going to be very close to an A, but I think it's an A-. And doing that while he was doing a lot of other things. And, every time my husband knows this about me, but I just don't like endings. I talk about this from time to time, usually when endings are happening, and you get to something like this, and I'm trying really hard for a lot of reasons to focus on the next step as a mom. And I really do think, my son is my oldest. He's my only son. So the boy things that he's going through and moving through are, I mean, if you could choose to look at it this way, they're all endings. When he's done with it, it's done. That's it. And that's really hard. It's hard to go through. It's emotional to go through. The amount of pride that you have and the amount of love that you have as a mom, certainly as a dad as well. It's like you hold on to what you know because what's coming next is going to go fast. I know it's going to go fast, and I'm not reading the comments right now. I'll go back and read them in a little bit. If you've said this, I haven't read it, so this is not personal. But when these things move so fast, and the reaction is from a lot of people like, "Oh, just wait till high school; it's going to be over in a blink," that can put me in a tailspin from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
The idea that the older I get, I turned 40 in April, and my son is graduating 8th grade, and my daughters are all getting older. Molly's getting bigger. She's not, she's not even really I don't know, she's gonna be 3 in a couple of weeks, but she's not a toddler anymore. And when I think about what we've pretty much done in the past is we get out of the baby phase and we're like, oh, that's so sad, it's gone. Let's have another baby. Well, that's not really what I'm thinking right now. Because when I think about having an infant again, that is just so mentally exhausting to even contemplate how that would even function in the lifestyle of having 4 kids who are very spread out and committed to a bunch of things. In May, my son was playing baseball, volleyball, and track. And working out basketball if he could fit it in. My oldest daughter, was doing volleyball and basketball. And now my 8-year-old is on a YMCA volleyball team, and it is the highlight of her existence right now. I'm a volleyball player. She's been saying she's a gymnast since she could talk, because I think she took maybe 2 gymnastics classes at the Y. She just was, I'm a gymnast. And now, she hadn't done it in a long time. And this is the first year she qualified for be old enough to play volleyball. So it's just a ton. It's just a lot. And then I see families, at church who have kids who are graduating high school. And then I see, lots of social media posts of all these people who are graduating college. And it just seems like it moves by at a breakneck pace. And, you know, it can cause me to like assess everything because I'm assessing everything with the lens of time. And there's just a lot of stuff that doesn't matter to me to like take priority in my life, the time that I will lose worrying about things that I can't control, that I can't fix, taking myself away from my kids who I know are going to be gone in an instance. I know that that's going to be the case. I don't really know how to do this right because I haven't done it before. I assume that my second kid to graduate through 8th grade will feel a little bit, I don't know that it'll be easier, but I imagine it'll be different because I will have done it already. But then we'll be looking at high school graduations, and then my son, no, my 2 oldest daughters, they're going to graduate high school and 8th grade at the same time. And that occurred to me on my 40th birthday. That was a moment. I'll take advice from people who have gone through it. And like I haven't read the comments, so if you said this, don't feel bad about this for saying this at all. But do you know what I'm saying when people are like, gosh, it's all going to go by so fast. Like high school's going to be over in a blink. Like that doesn't, the idea isn't like, and I'm with you, I'm acknowledging your feelings and I know how you feel, but it also makes me panicky kind of.
I do understand. Yeah, because it's the same thing with baby. Oh, they'll be out of that baby phase so soon. There's nothing really you can do to slow down time, but they're trying to tell you anything you can do to slow down that time, you should do. The other thing is going through this as a parent instead of as a kid. It's so different. And thinking back to, oh, my parents were experiencing these things every time these milestones happen. But as a kid, you go, okay, just get over it. This may be super naive of me to say, but I think it's real. And we are probably one of the last ages of people to deal with this because we did not graduate in a social media world at all. Like it literally didn't exist. But there are so many ways to make big deals out of these things that I think about because I just overanalyze everything. But like when I am watching on Facebook, somebody's graduating. Let's just, there's a senior graduation. It's like a year-long march of acknowledgments and saturation in it's ending. And that's what it feels like to me. And I bet that's what it feels like to a lot of parents. But to kids, it's like, it's beginning. And that's a natural order of things. But like all of the different ceremonies and rituals and things that you have to document and like I'm not opposed to them. I'm not mad at them. But I'm like thinking back to 2002 when I graduated high school. You graduated in 99? Yep.
And you were 2001?
01, yep.
We had a baccalaureate, which was a church service. I don't know if you guys do those at public schools. We did at a Lutheran. I know that there are public schools that do them.
No.
But a baccalaureate service, which was a graduation service that involved a worship service. And then you graduated. Now you go to, have you like seen senior clapouts? Have you heard of this?
No.
You go back to your grade school and you walk through your grade school and like the kids clap for you or something. Like you come back and visit. Like there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with any of this stuff.
But to me, it's like so made for social media.
Yes.
It's made for the video.
Yes, it is. And it's more stuff. It's just more and more stuff.
And emotion.
To have to do. And then, your friend's family did it. Now you feel like, oh, well, I guess, am I supposed to do that now? You don't. And it just becomes more and more things that you have to add to every milestone.
I mean, what I think it sounds like you're saying is their obligations.
Yes.
I'm not looking at them like they're obligations as much as I'm looking at this like it is our ability to let go of things, to experience it. Like, I feel like growing up in the 80s and the 90s, stuff just happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You just did it. And then you went on to the next thing. Like, I don't feel like any of the parents were slobbery over this.
Yes.
And if they were, you hit it.
Yeah.
I mean, but the more like the slobberiness of it is very contagious. I'm not an outwardly emotional person. I am inwardly a very emotional person. But all of the pomp and circumstance that goes on, and if it goes on for the entirety of the senior year, the entirety of the 8th grade year, the entirety of the kindergarten year. I mean, we had kindergarten graduation, and it's one of the most adorable things. And I remember appreciating it because it was like all of the cute and fun of graduation, but like so early that it didn't feel like, my baby's growing up. It's like, they're 6. They got time. When they're 14, and then, of course, when they're 18, it's consequentially dramatically different. It just seems like a different time. Like, I'm just comparing when I graduated high school and my siblings graduated high school. There was some emotion behind it, but it didn't interfere with the course of normal daily events.
And I don't want to belabor that point because I get, like, if you get emotional, I'm not trashing you, but even the emotion of those things is now marketable. If you turn the camera in the right direction at the right moment, you catch somebody, like, it's all part of the show. And so I'm not saying that everybody's faking it, but there's more of it.
No, I don't think it's fake at all. I think it's really real. But I think we're so confronted so often with this is how these things are done.
Mm-hmm.
So it influences you to experience it in the same way. And if you were to go experience your kid's graduation the way as 80s kids, our parents acknowledged, we had a party. We did the thing. I remember zero blubbering,
mm-hmm.
which is, that's just how I was raised, but I don't think it's unique to my family. It was like, pat you on the back. Good job, son.
And I'll say, and I don't even know if this is completely applies, but I remember when I was about to have kids, first time, and we had twins, people told me, even guys told me, look, it'll be a very emotional moment. I was never less emotional than when we were having the babies. It was just, I got to get through this business of, this is crazy. I got to get through this.
The day they were born?
Like the day they were born. I was told, oh man, the first time you hold them and all these things, you're going to have these emotional moments. I had none of those emotional moments.
Really?
But I had many later that nobody warned me about. And so I was almost thankful that I didn't feel the need to give in to the pressure to have those moments. I did it the way that I thought I was supposed to do it and got through it. And that is the way it was for me. And it's fine if it wasn't that way for you.
Ella said, I graduated in 1986 and my parents expected me to graduate. To them, it wasn't a major achievement. It was just part of life. I mean, it sounds callous.
It does, but it's
just what you do.
Everybody understands.
Yeah. We could talk a little bit more about it when we come back if you guys want to. I don't know. I'm just kind of puking emotions on it. Why I choose usually not to have any.
I can tell when you're getting it, though. And you're getting it right now because you got kids that are graduating.
Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
Jen Teskey online at jenteskeyhomes.com. Let's just continue the topic here and talk about downsizing. I know there are people who are having kids that are graduating and maybe moving out. Maybe just they graduated college and they're not moving back home finally. And you just don't need all the space. When you're looking for the perfect home, you need Jen Teskey. She works on the Illinois side, and she is the best when it comes to understanding, navigating this market right now. Inventory is low, so if you are looking to buy a house, you need somebody who is going to put you in the best position to get a home that you can afford, that you like, that you love, and to have a positive experience doing it. Now, let me also add that if you are interested in listing a home, boy, is now a great time to do that. And Jen Teskey is the best there is with RE/MAX Alliance to help guide you through the process of doing this. She has a great team. They're going to be honest with you, straight with you, and ensure that you are best positioned for a sale of your home that is going to net you what you need or what you can expect. Honesty is such a key important part of it, and Jen Teskey and her team are the best. 618-541-1010, 618-541-1010, jenteskeyhomes.com.
You know your customers. Ralph likes his coffee black on Fridays, but Mondays he takes a little cream. Jennifer comes in every 3 years when her lease is up to get the newer and better model. And for some reason, pepperoni pizza sells like crazy on Friday nights. Who knew? too. At Odyssey, we have the expertise to get your media plan done right. With ads like you're hearing right now to targeted social media campaigns, search engine optimization, and location-based advertising. Advertise with Odyssey and help us grow your business. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
If you have a problem with the IRS, believe me, it's not going away on its own. The IRS never gives up. They have endless resources so they control the game. Well, your tax problems can end. I'm attorney Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm, a local tax resolution firm with an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. I've handled thousands of IRS cases over the last 15 years. So when you hire me, you won't be speaking long distance or sending money to some TV pitchman that's riddled with consumer complaints. Your first visit is completely free and confidential, and I'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it will cost. So call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120. Or go to Lance, DRURYlaw.com. If you have IRS issues, you need a local attorney, you need me, Lance Drury.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Well, there's a lot to celebrate this month. Graduations, the end of the school year approaching, barbecues, warm weather months ahead. Celebrate, though, in a clean home by calling my cleaning heroes and pros at Zero Res. They've been in my house I don't know how many times over the last decade. They always knock it out of the park, and that goes for the carpets and the ductwork. You know them maybe as the zero residue carpet cleaners that don't leave behind any of the dirt-attracting soaps and chemicals. Don't risk what the other guys do or don't do it yourself. Don't DIY because it's going to end up soaked for days and actually do more damage than good. So do it the right way with Zero Res, and right now get 3 rooms of carpet, zero resified, starting at just $129. Take $50 off your air duct cleaning package. Now you have to mention my name or 97.1 FM Talk. You can book very easily if you call 314-474-2020 or online, ZeroResSTL.com. But make sure you mention my name or the station. Zero Res. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Don't miss out on the May special with Zero Res. Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, IGotFloor.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk is online, and you can stream it on your phone anytime.
Oh, yeah.
Just download the Odyssey app, and 97.1 is one button away.
Oh, yeah.
97.1 FM Talk.
Take a seat, right over there, sat on the stairs, stay or leave. The cabinets are bare, and I'm unaware of just how we got into this mess. Got so aggressive. I know we meant all good intentions. So pull me closer. Why don't you pull me close? Why don't you come on over? I can't just let you go. Oh, baby.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Just talked a little bit about, I don't know if this is exactly what we were talking about, but on a broader sense, my son's graduating 8th grade today, and I can tell he's a little conflicted about it. He's been at this school for 6 years, and it's been such an amazing blessing to our family. I really can't stress the benefits of non-public education, specifically Lutheran education in our family's instance. I went to Lutheran schools. I graduated from a Lutheran high school, and I send my kids to a Lutheran school, and we do pay for it. We pay, ironically, about the same amount of money for tuition, at least this last year, as we do property taxes.
Sounds about right.
Although it's just double.
Stupid.
None of my tax dollars benefit my children's education.
Isn't that great? Doesn't that make you feel good?
It doesn't make me feel good.
Oh, okay. The opposite of that.
That's not what
Gotcha.
that's not how I would describe it. I'm not saying that we shouldn't invest in an educated public, but wouldn't it be cool if, while the education of that public, which does include my child, if the education of the public that I am paying for while my children are being educated that I could maybe just get credit for my dollars to my kids' education.
Controversial opinion.
Pretty basic.
Here's another super controversial opinion. In Illinois, I think we don't pay enough in property taxes. They're just too low.
Go on.
I mean, Illinois is such a great
I'm going to
place.
hit the dump button because they're going to hear you and raise the property taxes.
You're right. I shouldn't even joke because they'll probably
You're
say.
joking?
I am joking.
Okay.
Yeah, they're a little high over on our side of the river, and I'm not sure what we're getting out of it.
I know what I'm not.
Yeah.
I mean, when I'm raising 4 children, 3 of which would be in the public school system currently. When I'm raising 3 kids and paying the same amount of money that I would be paying if I had no kids, and I am choosing that the best education for my children to have is at a Lutheran school where they get to learn about Jesus, why should that preclude my kids from benefiting from the tax dollars that I earn that come out of my paycheck and my husband's paycheck? Why? What possible reason could possibly exist that another child deserves those dollars more than my kid does? Now, when my kid is no longer in the school system, when I have no children left in the school system, am I saying that I shouldn't have to pay any money in property taxes for an educated public? It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if I'm paying X amount of dollars right now in property taxes that go into an education system where I am choosing to relocate my kids elsewhere, why would I not get credit for my portion, my part of the pie that I'm paying, and why should I not get credit for that? I can't think of a good reason.
Yeah, I can't either. The only one I could see somebody bringing up would be that the separation of church and state is in the Constitution. But wait a second, it's not in the Constitution. It was made up by courts in the 50s.
Well, and the church of big government is being preached in the classroom of public education every time you turn around. If you think that going to a Lutheran school is somehow indoctrinating kids, you're darn right it is, and I'm investing in it because I think that the education and opening school with prayer is incredibly important. And my kids should have the right to do that if I want that to be the case. And if public education wants to continue to throw big government, liberal, progressive policies at the forefront of everything that they're doing, do it. But make sure that you give kids the choice to travel with the tax dollars that their family pays. And if people want that, they'll stay.
Exactly. If they want it, they'll choose it. And I just get the sense that maybe they won't. You know, that really is the key to the whole thing, though. You have to have a monopoly on that message for it to work.
That's the thing. If people don't choose it, you got to ask yourself, why won't they choose it? And it's because people don't want what you're selling. If you're looking at public schools, and if you said this just in general, it's like, well, if you went to some sort of voucher system or if you let the tax dollars follow the kids, what's going to happen to the public schools? And my answer to that is it depends on if it's a good school or not. What you do then is you create competition and people compete for those tax dollars and for those students. And what that ends up doing is that makes schools better. And to get schools better, you got to have better teachers. So how do you get better teachers? You pay them more than the other schools are. So it raises teachers' salaries. This is a win for everybody.
Except for the teachers
Except for the
unions.
teachers unions and
the Democrat Party.
And the Democrat Party.
Because the teachers unions fund the Democrat Party and the Democrat Party funds and protects the teachers unions. Like the students are nowhere to be found in the equation. By design. And, okay, let's stroll down this lane here a little bit further on the idea of like woke indoctrination. Yeah, she said woke. In public education. Let's say that some of those things that us loonies on the right would classify as woke, let's say some of that has crept into the public education classroom, and what I wouldn't want my kid to be exposed to, other people want their kids to be exposed to. Okay, there's some disagreement. It's subjective. All right. How are the test scores? Let's talk about the things that are in the educational system that do need to be taught. How are the math scores? How is the English? How is the writing? What kind of science are you learning? Are you learning science or are you learning the science? I'm curious. Because if all of those things, if the test scores, if the education is being translated successfully to the kids, and there are some political interjections that take place from time to time, a lot of families might choose to say, you know what, the education my kids are getting is really strong, and they've learned a lot, and they've learned well. And this is the case in a lot of public school districts. It's not the case in every public school district that it's, all the woke progressive stuff that we're talking about here, but it is definitely in some. And I think there is a little in all. But are the test scores good? If they're not good and there's no competition, where do the kids go to get better educated?
Yeah, and we've seen what Democrats and the teachers' unions being in bed results in. It does not result in anything good for the kids. When the kids' interests line up with the Democrat and the teachers' union's best interests, then once in a while it happens. But we saw in 2020 and 2021.
And in fact, when you start looking at these test scores and you say, what's going on here, those schools actually will get more money. Democrats will throw more money at those schools saying, well, they're just underfunded. And when you look at Illinois, some of the best funded school districts down south here in southern Illinois are some of the worst districts. What you end up doing is you disincentivize people to get better. Because they know if we don't do good, we'll get more funds for that. And if we get more funds, then we have more funds to do whatever with. I don't know what they even do with the funds.
I'm going to expose something here and talk about personal finances for a second, which I don't ever do. But I really think that it's worth driving the point home. I send three kids to school at a Lutheran school for less than $10,000 a year. We spend less than $10,000 a year. I think it's actually around maybe 8. Our church gives us a little bit of money just to kind of as a scholarship to the kids because we go to a Lutheran church that doesn't have a school affiliated, and they, as a community, want to invest in kids being able to access Lutheran education. But I can send 3 children to full-time school for less than $10,000 a year. Wire Points, which is an outlet that I trust in the state of Illinois, they deal with a lot of numbers. Wire Points estimates Illinois will spend approximately $44 billion in K-12 education dollars for just 1.85 million students, just shy of $24,000 per student. We are spending in the state of Illinois $24,000 per student. The 2023 report card data says Illinois spent $17,952 per student. What are you investing in? You're investing in a bureaucracy and a system that is not even including the kids in the math equation. And the money comes out of your pocket to fund that system. And because we have a supermajority of Democrats who, the amount of nonsense that comes out of these Democrats. I got a message here today from somebody in Springfield, somebody who works in Springfield. The Senate just passed HB 4409. It already passed the House. It changes references from, quote, offenders to justice-impacted individuals. I said, what the hell is a justice-impacted individual? And they said that the Republican floor leader asked that question, and the sponsor of the bill, who is Senator Peters, responded, those who are, quote, impacted by the criminal justice system who are individuals.
What?
Offenders in the state of Illinois are no longer, you can no longer be an offender. You are a justice-impacted individual. The same.
I know we're in radio and I'm supposed to say something.
Speechless.
I can't come up with anything to say about that. That is pure. It makes me mad how nonsensical that is.
And we're spending time and money to get there.
We're spending time on that.
Those are the same people who are spending $18,000 per student. $18,000 is the cost to educate a student in the state of Illinois. And I am spending on my own less than $10,000 to educate 3 kids at a Lutheran school. And I would venture to say the education is better, the moral understanding is better, the faith foundation is priceless. The exposure, the experience, all better at a Lutheran school. And my family, that's my personal anecdote. I can't speak to any other Lutheran school out there, but that is the real facts of the matter. And I'm paying close to that in property taxes right now and getting nothing from it. Make that make sense. The only way it does is when you go, oh yeah, the teachers' unions. That's where it comes. Let's take a quick break. We'll get to the YouTube live chat poll in just a few minutes. The defense rests, the prosecution rests in the Manhatten trial, the Bragg trial against Donald Trump. What's going to happen with it? How's it going to end? We'll get your thoughts when we come back.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
There's a lot of situations where you could have a vacant property. I've mentioned a couple of them, whether you're doing a rehab right now or you have a rental that the tenants have moved out, they've been evicted. But it could also apply to you if you have an estate or something like that you're going to need to put on the market. No matter what it is, if you have a vacant property and you need to get it up to speed, up to code in some ways, go to murphycleanoutservices.com. Their name suggests what they do originally, but they do much more than that now. Murphy Cleanout Services will clean out your house. So a lot of rentals will be in this situation if you have rental properties. But they do so many other things too. In fact, they do everything. Whether you need big things like a new roof on your house, new siding or something like that, they can coordinate all that. They can also do themselves all the little stuff, including painting and blinds and just fixing the place up. So if you're in any of those situations and you want somebody to come in and help you deal with any or all of it, go to murphycleanoutservices.com. You'll see right there at the top of the page, Rapid Rental Renovations. They do rentals. They know how to do rentals. Visit them at murphycleanoutservices.com.
Guys, summer is just around the corner. Get yourself in shape now. Let my friends at Victory Men's Health help you. Mark Cox here. Victory is offering semaglutide, approved by the FDA for overweight adults. It's a game changer. On average, people are losing up to 15% of their body weight. Be sure and visit my friends at Victory Men's Health in Wing Haven, their newest location in Sunset Hills. They're also in Town and Country and in O'Fallon, Illinois. Go online today. Tell them you heard Mark Cox talking about it. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
Stewart's American Mortgage is the home of the Bagel Loan. You know that. What am I talking about when I mention the Bagel Loan, and why all of a sudden does it maybe apply to you? Well, when you're shopping for a home and you need to shop also for a mortgage, don't forget to shop for mortgage. That's how you're going to make sure you get the best deal possible on probably the longest and biggest loan you're going to take out. Why wouldn't you shop? Reach out to Stewie and ask him how he can help you. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. And ask about the Bagel Loan. When you learn about the Bagel Loan, the number one thing that you care about is that there are no closing costs, no fees, thousands of dollars that never leave your pocket. They stay right where they are, and you can choose what to do best with those. The Bagel Loan is only with Stewie, though, so you reach out to Stewart's American Mortgage directly by calling or texting Stewie at 314-324-4440. I am a two-time Bagel Loan customer myself, refinancing my home twice to lower my rate, and I encourage you to check that out as well. Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
When you ask people here, what's the one thing that makes Diamonds Direct their favorite jeweler? For some, it's the the unbeatable pricing we get through our direct importer. No middleman connections. The foundation of our business since day one. For others, it's the uncompromising quality. From hand-selected diamonds to handcrafted designer rings. Only the best of the best. Some people put selection at the top of their list, as Diamonds Direct offers up to 30 times the options you expect from a typical jewelry retailer. For some, it's our luxurious showroom with diamond experts who genuinely care about your experience and happiness, and who are empowered to do whatever it takes for you. Others rave about Diamonds Direct's unmatched warranties and guarantees that include free service for life and an extraordinary 110% diamond upgrade promise. But you know the most often answer we get when asking what makes Diamonds Direct stand out? It's not one thing. It's everything. Diamonds Direct. Value, luxury, choices, and confidence. Get directions, hours, and more at diamondsdirect.com. Official partner of the St. Louis Blues.
I can see clearly now thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and introducing Samuel Berry. You can too. Call 314-966-5000 or check out youridoc.com. That's youridoc.com.
Today, the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll of the day is, how will the Bragg Trump trial end? And I understand that no matter what the outcome is, they have to follow the results of this poll. So there's a lot weighing on this poll. Let us know if it's guilty, acquittal, hung jury, or directed verdict. Now, we've gone over these, and we will again here in just a minute. And we'll give you the results. Like I said, you really need to vote in this one because there's a lot hanging on it. How will the Bragg Trump trial end? It is 2:50. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
We're here to help you get registered to vote, whether you're in Missouri or Illinois. Democracy 2024 on 97.1 FM Talk. If you need help getting registered, go to 971talk.com/vote.
We've been turning into strangers. Now we barely even touch. Superficial conversation, 'cause our guard is always up. I'm not ready to give up.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
One last hurrah, it might
Follow
just
Annie
do
on
without
Instagram
a
at The Annie Fry Show.
Might be in a bottle, little proof from the past.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Ryan, do you get emotional? You ever get teary-eyed?
I do.
As a dad?
I do, yeah.
When does it get you?
Specifically as a dad? Man.
I don't know. As a rom-com fan?
You know what? I was kind of leaning that way. You know what really
that part
does it?
She's all that at the end where she's her beautiful self, but not like the super popular person.
Yeah, because I thought it was going to end on a down note.
Still accepted.
And I I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, it's a happy ending.
Can't keep my emotions inside.
Incredible. The time when it really gets, like, I get the most emotional, the most consistently, is when I hear patriotic music playing and I'm reading something like from a founding father.
Is this not about
Isn't that amazing?
This is not about your kids?
I didn't know it has nothing to do with my children.
Do you have
But then I tear up and I tell them,
moments?
you need to read this, son. You need to pay attention to it.
Score. And
that's why I do music for fireworks every year, because that stuff, I include it in the presentation.
Do you get emotional about your kids and their day-to-day lives ever?
I wouldn't say day to day.
Is your wife?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
What are you paying
Well,
attention to?
she's with them all day at school because they go to her school, so I miss a lot of it. So I'm here jabbering.
This is your job.
Okay.
You're not just here for fun.
Oh, news to me.
I mean, I know that there's a difference, of course, between men and women. Newsflash. There's a difference between men and women and their propensity to be emotional about things. And, my son graduating tonight, sometimes I'll get about a week past it. And I'll go, okay, I think I can do this. It's always the lead up that is the most, that has the most pressure for me and feels very emotionally burdensome. But I guess it's just natural. I don't know. I'm always trying to figure out, like, am I getting played here? Am I being gamed? Is the social media algorithm that's showing everybody with their, like, you put up the split screen of your kid when they were little, holding a truck and then they're graduating, and I'm like, I cannot see this. I can't handle it. It's one thing you can scroll past that, and that one image encompasses 15 years of time, and it does just go by so fast. I don't know. I feel like we over amplify everything for effect, and I don't want to be a sucker to it. But I also am definitely trying to do the live in the moment and feel the feelings. I think sometimes that if I have worked hard to push the feelings down, that they're always still there, and they kind of mount and they kind of grow, and then they come out when they come out. So just to try to allow myself the moment where the emotion is there and exist in it. But if you open the floodgates, it's like, ooh, can you turn them back off? I don't know.
It's weird to say, but I'm trying to take less pictures at events. So I like to take one or two just to remind myself this is where we were, this is what we were doing, almost as a kind of a flashpoint of, oh, yeah, we went there that day. And with a big event, you want to take more than that. But I also try to put it away and just sit there and experience what we're doing. Because if I don't, I'll take pictures of everything.
I understand that and value it. I want to make sure that when my kids look at me, they don't see a phone screen.
Yes, that too.
That's more what it is about for me. Like, I might try to video something if I'm going to preserve it, a graduation or whatever, some sort of ceremony. I might want to preserve that. I don't know what for. Nobody's ever going to go watch those, but you still do it. Take the pictures, get the good picture, and then move on. And I don't think older kids struggle with this, but younger kids do. If every time they look at you, they're looking at the other side of your phone, not because you're playing Candy Crush on it, but just because you're just trying to preserve all the memories.
Yeah, you're taking pictures.
You're spending so much time trying to archive events that you're not an actual participant in them. I can kind of go back and forth because I'm the one in our family who takes the pictures. Nobody else really does that. But it's difficult. It's a hard thing to go through. It's a hard thing to understand. And I know that I'm not even in like the big one. And then you graduate high school and it's like, okay, it's a big deal. But then your kid gets married. And then your and then your kids have kids. And there's just like all of these life events that it's the series of life events never ends. But by the end of it, you've passed through 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems like it.
Two things I know are going to happen at my daughter's wedding. I'm going to cry, and we're going to have sherbet punch. Because that stuff's so good.
What if your daughter doesn't want that at her wedding?
I'm paying. So you're going to have it.
Put it on the board.
You listen right now, Sonny. You're having sherbet punch at your
Sonny, also, he just said he's paying. So
for that.
I'm going to No. Uh-huh. It was $2.56 and 32 seconds. Quote, I'm paying, period.
For that.
No, that's not what you said. That's not what happened at 2:56:32. Burn the rest of the tape. You're gonna be the dad who shows up and be like, I got you covered on the sherbet punch.
Uh-huh. I'll bring it. I won't even pay for it. I'll bring it myself.
Yeah. When you peek into
I'll bring it to other people's weddings.
Dad Wiggins's Tervis over there, it's gonna be full of sherbet punch.
Yeah.
What
Just
kind
my
of
little flask?
What
in my
kind of
pocket.
booze do you have in there? Oh, just short sherbet.
Just a little sherbet punch. Can't talk about it.
YouTube live chat poll for today: how will the Bragg Trump trial end? This is a very interesting and close one. A directed verdict, 6% of you said that, with almost 300 votes today.
Wow.
6%. Nobody thinks directed verdict, along with Trey Gowdy. 22% agree with Brad and say acquittal. 28% say guilty. And 45% are with Ryan and me and say hung jury. Thank you for voting with us today. What?
What?
It's time to go.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at Triton Exteriors. If you're younger than me, you may not have ever really experienced truly great customer service. You will with Triton Exteriors. We're a James Hardy siding company. We have a huge color selection. We do fences. We do pretty much everything on the exteriors. We have a great reputation. We have tons, 800 positive online reviews with Angie's List. Great with the BBB. Call 314-717-1159 or book online at triton-stl.com.
We're going abroad
abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres? ¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every week.